Oh my goodness, we're back at it again. It's Mr. Young.
And it's forward back in the building, Mr. Young.
Doing a bit of a recorded session because, yes, life does get in the way. In fact, right, here's the thing. Originally, we thought we could take a break from WrestleMania weekend because, there was just so much wrestling happening. We're like, okay, bro, let's just give ourselves a bit of a wrestling detox, right? Oh, my friend, how wrong we were.
Bro, not forgetting, we recorded, at least you recorded back-to-back episodes last week, right? Live.
Right.
And also you were streaming both nights of WrestleMania. I think you needed the break more than me.
I did. Legit, right? After we finished our podcast on Monday, my throat, I was like, okay, I cannot talk for the rest of the day already. I had to take a break because my voice was almost gone.
Damn. Did you go to work in the end on Monday night?
Yes, I still went to work. I did what I had to do. Then after that was Tuesday. And then thankfully Wednesday was Hari Raya. Selamat Hari Raya to you. Belated, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, brother. No, I've been celebrating all the way. Today is the first day I've had a proper break. As we're recording, this is Sunday, right? So So after the whole nonsense that happened with my laptop last week.
Oh yes. Hold on. We need the fans, the Discord, all the listeners of Kick to the Gut need to know what has happened to your laptop. Because the big drama, in case you didn't, check out the podcast last week, you're like, hey, how come Mr. Young soloing the podcast on Monday, right? Tell us, what happened on Monday?
Okay, bro, I feel like I'm CM Punk and you're Ariel Helwani and you're asking me how it all went down.
How did it all go down, my friend?
Yeah, I know, I just choke a little bit.
Just choke a little bit. Wow, something got choked out, all right?
No. Okay. Let me give you full context. So Sunday, remember we had an awesome recording session at your place, and then we all agreed. We shook hands on it. We were like, okay, Monday we'll watch WrestleMania Night 2 from comfort of our homes, and then we'll just get online.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stream like how we usually do this format, right?
Yep.
This is like our every week format. And then when I woke up, I was like, you know what? I want to watch WrestleMania on a bigger screen. Let's watch it on my laptop. So I switched on my laptop. The power load, I can hear the tong. The screen stayed black, bro. It never lighted up. I was like,
oh.
Wait, what? Now?
Of all days, of all times.
Bro, I will never forget. WrestleMania Night 2 is the day that my laptop, after buying it for only a year and not getting Apple Care warranty, unfortunately, it just died on me, bro.
And you were telling me, right, this is exactly 1 year, 2 months after the warranty. So do you conspiracy theory, everybody, tinfoil hats, everybody. Do you think they purposely make their products after the warranty period conk off?
Well, I shall not mention names. Okay, actually, I already said I'm using a MacBook. Right?
It's MacBook lah, MacBook.
Cannot lie. But let's just say maybe streaming on MacBook may not be the best, the most optimized use of using a MacBook. Maybe I could have used a PC. Maybe that would have helped. But I was clearly disappointed because, first of all, two things was happening. We agreed to stream at 11 a.m. right after WrestleMania happened, right?
Yeah.
I was of course wanting to watch WrestleMania, but I had to get a lot of things settled. I mean, first of all, my plan was actually to go to the bank early that morning to break up my money right? Yeah. To give all the Hari Raya money to all these little kiddos and it's not fun when you have to break out $300 into $2 notes, bro.
Sure.
You freaking hell, you go to the ATM machine, no $2 all gone already. By the time 2 days before Hari Raya, everything sapu already. All the old uncle, pakcik, makcik all will have taken out all the money, right?
Yeah.
So I was so confident. I was like, the moment the bank opened at 8:30 a.m., I'm going to be right there, going to get my queue number, going to settle everything, come home by 11 a.m. Perfect timing.
Wait, hang on. So the whole time you had your phone with you watching WrestleMania?
Yes.
Okay.
Bro, so the last thing I wanted was a laptop issue.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted was to be at the bank and suddenly get my queue number and say they tell me to come back 2 hours later.
Oh, boy.
So all that shit went down. As I was checking, thank God for our Discord, could rely on you guys to kind of update me what's happening. I saw you on Twitch as well. So you guys were kind of keeping the ship going. But I was just dying and WrestleMania was the third biggest priority that morning, bro.
Oh my God. And it was the craziest WrestleMania of all time. Did you manage to rewatch it on your TV or something? Just to relive the emotions, bro?
Yeah. So that's the funny thing, right? For me, right? This is a crazy admission, but I have never watched back Elimination Chamber on WWE Network.
Okay.
Because I was there, right?
Right.
I've experienced it. It was so taxing in a way, right? And very funnily enough, right? I never rewatched back WrestleMania 2 from start to end. even until today. Like, it's been like a couple of days, right?
Wow.
Everything I've seen is like either social media, watching reviews, whether it's like Cornette, whether it's Bischoff,
Bro.
clips.
You might have lost a bit of your wrestling fan cred by admitting this. Are you sure this is something you want to admit, bro? Okay, I tell you what I did.
Okay, go for it.
I rewatched WrestleMania that very night. That's how great it was. And this is on top of all the clips, all the review clips. Everyone doing a review, I would stay there and watch on TikTok. People reacting, I would watch. So I saw those scenes. I've seen like 5, 6, 7 times. Plus, I rewatched the entire, not the entire pay-per-view. I skipped like LA Knight AJ Styles. I skipped certain matches. I skipped Io and Bailey because I already watched it live, right?
Yeah.
But I rewatched the first match, the Philly Street fight of all things, because, to be fair, Snoop Dogg was quite funny, and the main event, right?
Nice. No, I clearly know that it was one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. People keep talking about the finish was great. What I enjoyed was actually watching the WrestleMania reactions, whether it's from people that was there live. So I saw like this iPhone version of like the finish from somebody who was from the third row. So they could see, like, I could literally see like Undertaker hobbling.
He running away.
Running in, running out. Like, I saw reactions, like, they had like a bar in New York. Filming everyone's reaction, watching all the big things happening. Like, I got a kick because I think that's the whole point, right? When you watch wrestling alone, it's fun. But when you watch it as a community, or you feel like you're part of a community reacting to the things that you react, wow, it's more incredible.
Oh, yeah. That's the beauty of the social media age, right? Like, all of a sudden, you don't feel so disconnected anymore. You're not just sitting down watching by yourself. You're watching it with this community, and to see everybody's reaction. And we're all fans at the end of the day, to share in this positive reaction. While there's a negative reaction in the wrestling world, we have all shared as well. It is kind of crazy, and we will get to in just a bit. The juxtaposition is kind of amazing. It's almost as if the universe planned this perfectly. The highest of the highs, and not the lowest of the low. There have been lower, but just within this week of wrestling highs, Tony Khan had to slip in one. No, you think people talking about that? I got something for you to talk about, and we will get to that in just a bit. But before we do that, I want to say thank you so much for all our Patreons. Your beautiful names are on the scroller right there at the ticker. Want to say hello to everybody on our Discord. If you haven't followed us on Discord yet, please do so. The conversation continues on Discord. And we want to shout out to our lovely sponsors, Mirage Advisory. They're bringing you Kick to the Gut. They're our beautiful sponsors. Hey, they are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Drop them a follow on Instagram, guys.
Bro, not only that, man, we talk about how the WWE is in the new era.
Yeah.
Kick to the Gut is also in the new era. We are in the Mirage Advisory era, bro.
You know it. Thank you so very much. It's good to work with people who also love wrestling, who get what we're putting down, as it were. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody, do us a favor. If you haven't already, go to Instagram right now. Look for Mirage Advisory. Drop them a follow, okay?
Yeah,
drop them a follow, and then
drop
into their comments and say, Kick to the Gut sent me, or something lah.
Yeah, for sure. And just like a lot of the casual fans or Labs fans, Mirage Advisory, the boys there, they used to be fans growing up, Attitude Era, same like me, and they were like, hey, I hear this WrestleMania 40 is like a big deal, we would love to support a community of wrestling fans. Dude, tell us more about it, man. And they came through.
In the group chat too, they were reacting to the moments, the returns, the Undertaker showing up, Rock, Cena. It was incredible. So once again, a shout out to Mirage Advisory, our sponsors for this podcast. All right, let's talk about, post WrestleMania. You had Triple H coming out talking about how they're scaling down the set for Raw and SmackDown. On the Raw right after, did you like the set?
I like how it feels like a more, intimate, minimalistic set, because the whole point was for them to get more people into the audience, right?
I love how he said, we want to show you the universe, the fans. Oh, I don't know if you noticed this, by the way. They're starting to call the WWE universe fans again. I don't know if you noticed this.
Fans, yes, pro wrestling.
They're saying pro wrestling. It's like they're going back to the whole, let's not try to corporatize everything by calling this the WWE universe. Yeah, we'll throw that line out there. But it's actually okay to say fans, and there are a lot of things that you just feel, right now as a wrestling fan? You feel like really it is a new era. Doesn't it feel like it? Like the Vince McMahon era, those of us who know, but for those who might not know, the inside staff who are not quote unquote, smart to the business and read dirt sheets, I wonder if to them it feels like the Attitude Era all over again or something fresh again.
I heard something on TikTok. Apparently, a bunch of like the younger generation of wrestling fans, we were like, I don't know what's the actual trend challenge or the hashtag, but they're like, we are sick of your Attitude Era, something like that. Like basically, this whole generation of younger fans are like putting out like a hashtag saying like, stop talking about Attitude Era. We are sick of it. We didn't live through it. We want this era to be our thing now. So it's almost as if the younger fans are like trying to claim. Wanting to claim ownership and like wanting to enjoy living in a era that is organic and happening live, So I love that, as all of us older fans, we they will never understand, right, how great Attitude Era was, right?
See, I get it though. I do get it. Like, there are a group of fans that are always nostalgic, always gonna be nostalgic. It's what it is, right? It's the nostalgia syndrome. Like, I'm sure we all have parents or uncles or fathers, mothers, aunties who are like, Frank Sinatra is the best music. Your Drake, what is this rubbish noise? What your rap music? We've all, like, my own parents, right? Like, they love listening to Teresa Teng, for goodness sakes.
Oh my God, I haven't that name in so long.
Exactly, right? So that is the era they were brought up in. And you have to understand that, but also at the same time, too, like, enjoy everything that's out there, that's new and different. And I think we, as, what we do, right? People who have a voice in the quote-unquote wrestling world, I think it's great that we can talk about the old stuff, what worked in the old stuff. We have the context of what's happening now. Just, hey, wait a minute, I remember they did this in WrestleMania 3 or something like that. I think it gives us a fuller picture. But also at the same time, it's like, let's enjoy what's happening right now. Let Papa H cook.
Yeah, for sure. And, I love if fans who, didn't know anything about wrestling, the younger fans, but they know who IShowSpeed is. They know Logan Paul, right? they see and they consume their content through these people and their platforms.
Yeah.
And suddenly wrestling bleeds into their platform. They're like, oh, okay, interesting. I'll check it out. I'll stay a couple of weeks. You never know.
It's weird because I was listening to a lot of the reactions. Like, like people like Jim Cornette, you don't expect them to know who Speed is, right?
Oh
my
God.
The second Speed showed up, like he tore off the thing, I was like, Speed! Because I'm in that space. I'm a streamer, so I know who the big streamers are, right?
Yeah.
So I find it very amusing. I was like, hey, this boomer knows Speed. Like, don't play. Like.
The funniest thing is, bro, I saw some clips of Jim Cornette reacting to Mick Mill, talking about P. Diddy, talking about, IShowSpeed.
Yeah.
It's like a clash of both worlds, right? And I think that's the beauty about wrestling, because wrestling can be anything you want it to be. It's pop culture, right? And back to your point about, the Raw sets, I feel like it reminded me a lot more of like UFC sets, right? Because UFC, they focus more on the walkout. They talk about showing the fan. They want to talk about how crowded everything is.
Yes.
I like
that.
So
that was Triple H's point. He wanted to show the fans, right? More of the people there. In my head, I was like, that's also a good way of saying sell more tickets. Like, open up more space, because their gates, their attendances are going up. So they're like, okay lah, we make the set smaller, we get more people in the door, we save costs, and we get more people to pay tickets. Best of both worlds, really.
Bro, the business side of me was thinking like, wow, I can save money on Titantron and sets,
and bring more people, put more butts in seats. Exactly, bro. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. What you're doing.
But I'm not gonna lie. The Rock's entrance on Raw didn't hit as much as when they had like freaking thunderbolts and LED lights and so there's a give and take, right? Because the Titantrons are iconic, the entrances are iconic. So why not save on like maybe the normal Raws can have this, and then go crazy with the pay-per-view and the set designs and the prop designs, right?
I think they are in a really good spot to play around. Yes. And I'm sure they can project what attendance is for certain events as well. Yeah. So if a certain event, maybe not so full house, okay lah, make the Titantron bigger lah. I'm sure it's all panels that they can construct within a few days,
Agreed. And I also saw news that they're also thinking of like dialing back on the AR, in the entrances, because they were talking about how, like maybe like Raw and SmackDown, the normal shows, they don't use the AR so much, so that when during the PLEs they can have that visual representation, to make it a bigger deal, to separate it from the normal shows, and I think that's a smart move, right?
It is, bro. It is absolutely a smart move. It goes back to what we always talk about in terms of when in pro wrestling, you don't give them 100% all the time. Because if not, then why do I want to watch the paid event? I've already seen you do triple flips,
Yeah. I mean, it's not just the moves, get them one thing, in terms of like the appearances. Don't debut everyone one shot in their mother in one night, right?
Yeah.
Spread it out.
Spread it out. They understand the business of doing television, of putting butts in seats, of people, getting people to talk and getting people to anticipate. Unlike a certain person we are about to talk to in just a little while. But before we get to that, okay.
Let's clear all the WWE stuff before we deep dive.
So we are doing the good news, bad news thing. We do good news first, then the bad news. Okay, very good.
Sure.
What else from Raw? Okay, so there was the handshake. There's the whole debate of what did Rock give Cody Rhodes? Was it the Rolex? Some people have speculated. Was it a bead from the Roman Reigns' necklace? That was another theory. But guess what? People are talking about it. Or they were for at least a day or two.
Yeah. No, I love all the theories. I love some people were hinting that this might be something that Cody Rhodes had given to The Rock as a way of like a handshake deal or like a verbal deal that to step aside, to let The Rock go main event WrestleMania, and the fact that he took it back. And The Rock giving it back, saying like, hey, you broke your promise once, don't break my heart again.
Hey, bro. The thing is, when it happened, I was like, I actually feel very safe that they will pay it off at some point. Maybe not next week. Maybe not in a month. Maybe not even in a year. But I feel in the Triple H era, they will pay it off. If this were just 3 years ago, I'd be like, oh crap, we'll never buy it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Did you have that same feeling?
No, I love it. And you know what's the most heartening feeling about that night, right? Having The Rock appear, having Cody having that emotional speech. We are living in a time where The Rock as the final boss is essentially the new Brock Lesnar, right? He can be the guy that comes back in a half a year, a year's time, and like be that final boss if you want to like win a championship or main event a show.
The only difference is The Rock in the ring, not quite Brock Lesnar. He's all presentation at this point.
Yeah, I mean he's I guess going down the Hogan route where it's all rah-rah, over the top. But hey, like The Rock, his life just keeps going, man. He got so much other shit to take care of, and I like that he closes the chapter, but then pour the seeds like, hey, you might have finished your story with Roman Reigns, but between you and me, our story has just begun. Like, whoa, is this like the new big bad? Is this the new Kang?
Bro, it is cinematic storytelling, right? They're like, okay, hey, but in the future, don't play. And talking about continuing the story. Anything else from Raw you want to bring up? Because, SmackDown. I know. Okay, let's talk about all the WWE stuff because technically Dynamite happens before SmackDown. But you want to talk about SmackDown?
Yeah, I think we should talk about it. I mean, other than like overall, how would you say the Raw after Mania was this year?
I was excited. I love that they brought in Ilya and Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
I think but the issue I had with it it's like, okay, I know these guys from the NXT setting. Here, they just felt like, insert new character, just give you a preview. The matches were nothing to shout home about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them. Like but I don't foresee them going on the roster full time because I think there's still a couple of threads they need to close in NXT.
Yep.
But I like, Damian Priest coming out with the whole presentation, Judgment Day.
R-Truth, bro, R-Truth.
R-Truth giving that 6-man tag and then bringing his friend that you can't see. I think that was a great cameo, great usage of John Cena. I think John Cena had a great usage of him this weekend. Like,
bro, you see his face. He's having fun. That's the thing. Like, he's sort of like that veteran who's like, people know me. They'll pop for me. I don't have to do too much work other than just do, he's not involved in the way where he has to promo or anything like that. He just shows up, does a few moves and F's off. And he looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah, he's put in the time. He deserves it. I think he deserves to be beloved after all these years of mixed reactions, crowd shitting on him. That's great. I like Damian as champion. I want to see him grow into that role.
Yeah.
And I also love everything that was between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Oh my god.
Oh dear God! Like, I know the news channel, the news cycle have like passed by, and people might have forgotten about Raw, but that was a great moment. Drew, yeah.
So talking about self-inflicted wounds, right? It's like Drew McIntyre, he wins, he finally gets his moment, but he has to ruin it because of his obsession. So the whole thread of obsessions coming back to bite you in the ass was the thread of WrestleMania, or one of the main themes. You had it with Roman Reigns, like hitting Seth instead of hitting Cody with the chair, to wrap up that storyline, but he couldn't get over his own obsession, right? So that was that story. And then there was Drew's obsession with CM Punk. Like, instead of savoring his win and effing off, he had to get in CM Punk's face, and that's what cost him, right? So I love that these storytelling themes abound now in the WWE. It gives us, like, overthinkers so much to do. It's awesome, right?
Yeah, so much to sink into, right?
Yeah. But I have to say, CM Punk's face when he does like what he does to Drew, and he's cost him the second time, and he has this what they call the shit-eating grin.
Yes.
I love it, man. And I'm sorry, I'm gushing a little bit. But I get your love for CM Punk now. Whenever I go through comment sections like on TikTok, and people are still like, I don't understand CM Punk, I don't get CM Punk. Go and watch his stuff. Like, the WWE, they literally have playlists. They will stream live playlists, right? Best of John Cena. I went down a rabbit hole the other day, like CM Punk's best moments on the mic. It was like an hour and 20 minutes of his promos. I was like, God dang, I understand why people like him now.
Yeah, and it's like, people can talk all the shit about him being controversial, problematic, cancer in the locker room, blah, 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 not as great as a wrestler as he thinks he is, old past, whatever it is, but nobody can touch him on the mic, and that can last, like Bobby Heenan, that can last all the way until his retirement, bro.
No, exactly. So he can move on to be a commentator, then after that, a manager. He's got a steady paycheck, is what he has.
And a lot of people were arguing like whether, it's unfair on Drew McIntyre for taking away his moment, but I would argue it's actually the perfect use of Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre only wanted one thing: to celebrate a title win in front of a crowd. Yeah, he got that for 5 minutes, but he did get that. And then on the flip side of it, he loses the title, but now he has a year's worth of storyline, a rivalry that's gonna cook on Raw between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. How amazing is that?
That's exactly it. So now he gets to make money, put butts in seats. If that is like, once again, going back to what CM Punk said on Errol Hawani, right? If you haven't watched that interview, it's a fantastic interview. But if your game is to put on 5-star matches to half-empty arenas, then you're not playing the same game as he. He being back in WWE makes so much sense, because WWE is in the business of putting butts in seats, selling tickets, and, breaking records. What better way to do it than, controversial moments like these with Drew? And I'm sure Drew is smart enough to understand that, this will benefit him in the long term as well.
Yeah, the version of WWE that Punk left wasn't a good fit. We agree, right? It was too constricting for him. The version of AEW with too much freedom and too much, immature people also is not a good environment for him, because he tries to lead, no one will listen. I think this generation where, in WWE, where all the younger stars are willing to listen, there's a structure, is perfect for him. And with Drew McIntyre, like, we all love him as the professional hater, right?
Yeah.
So
in a way, isn't Drew McIntyre AEW? Like, in a sort of weird way, like, he's portraying that whole class of fan right now, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's like basically, if AEW fans are the nerds there, I hate you, CM Punk, like a very kental kind of boys, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, Drew McIntyre is like the big bully that is like standing up for all his nerdy friends and like shitting on CM Punk. It's like all these nerdy fans can go be Drew McIntyre. What he said. What he said.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then we are almost forgetting the fact that the winner of the number one contendership for Damian Priest's title, Jey Uso, the main event, Jey Uso is really in the main event again. So
yeah, they are not just like giving him, a moment. They're giving him several moments, right? Like, I mean, okay, to be fair, I don't think he's going to win. It's too early in the run, but there's definitely stories to be told, right?
Correct. And wins and losses matter, as Paul Heyman said. So the winner of a grudge match between Jey and Jimmy, it makes sense that Jey would now elevate to a new, stratosphere.
And poor Jimmy. Can we talk about SmackDown now?
Okay, last thing about Raw.
Okay.
I love the fact that Gunther and Seth Rollins wasn't on the show.
Yeah, agreed. They needed to take a break, first of all, and there were just too many stories being told. It's fine.
Yes.
Let it drag out a bit. Okay, if this were AEW and Gunther disappears for 5 weeks, then that's a problem already. You know?
Correct.
But I think I trust in Papa H to bring back Gunther at the right opportune moment.
Even when Gunther is away, they continue the storyline between Vinci, Kaiser, and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
And now, Sami Zayn can go have that feud with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Next week, Montreal. And imagine, if Chad Gable wins, yes, fine, Sami Zayn transitional champion. But if Chad Gable loses, what if it pushes him into the dark side? He becomes a heel.
Yeah.
How awesome will that feud be?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just so many things to look forward to. So yeah, this new quote-unquote new era, we are all very hyped for it. Let's talk about SmackDown now. What happened on SmackDown? Obviously, the big talking point, right? The fallout from WrestleMania. And we are very much in the fallout from WrestleMania few weeks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it feels like that's sort of a moment where, who is Cody's next challenger gonna be? Do we really need to rush into that? I don't think so. Let them have a bit of time to cook. Right? But yes, so we had that whole moment where Solo steps up. So, okay, I don't know if the internet seems to think that he implied that he is the tribal chief. At first, I thought he implied that The Rock was the tribal chief. I don't know.
Well,
what do you think? What do you think?
To me, right, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty clear, right? When Paul Heyman said, winning and losing has its consequences, but he said something very interesting, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. He was just about to go on a whole diatribe monologue about Roman Reigns. Immediately, Solo cuts him off.
He's like, nope, he's not going to come back. It's like, so okay. He does the whole thing in the ring as well, right?
Yeah.
With Jimmy, and then talking about Jimmy lost. He hugs him. I'm your brother. Okay, Solo is no Roman, right? But you got to give him props that he tried. And then
you know what it is. This is Triple H. Post WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels go away. Now I have the ball. I'm gonna take over the ball right now. The ball is in my court. Remember that promo?
Yeah.
So it's like Triple H, where he was at that point still a mid-carder. Now he's stepping up. So Solo is gonna be so-called the figurehead of this new scenario, new group. So talk about that.
Debut. He hugs Jimmy Uso, right? So you're my brother. I love you. And then, boom! From behind, it's Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Who looks incredible, by the way. I forget that
boy is jacked.
Yeah, he is jacked, right? So he's the son of Haku, which is interesting. I think you shared it, and a lot of people have been sharing the fact that Rikishi and Haku. Then they show side by side Solo and Tama Tonga.
Yeah. And another interesting fact about that is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa back in New Japan was Guerrilla of Destiny, which is GOD was part of Bullet Club.
Yeah.
So there is, and GOD was tag team champions in New Japan, while Cody was the leader of Bullet Club. There's a lot of links there.
Yeah.
And another thing, a lot of people might have forgotten that Jacob Fatu from MLW has just signed with WWE.
Correct.
Jacob Fatu is the son of I can't remember. His name is Tamu.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the dad's name is, but basically the dad and Haku were called the Islanders in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, so right, there's a lot of links with the family. They all make sense that they're all together. So,
bro, it's like, wow, the whole family come together. And so, okay, so the idea here is, right, and people have been speculating, you bring in Jacob Fatu at a future point in time. You don't debut him now. Don't need to rush anything. Did anybody even have an inkling that Tama Tonga was joining WWE, by the way? Because I heard no news about that.
Well, Tama Tonga did announce back in February that his contract with New Japan was ending. So we knew that he was in free agency mode. Probably there was some rumblings that he had signed, but it wasn't confirmed, right?
Yeah.
My only concern is that, we are wrestling fans who do the work in terms of understanding New Japan and all that. But the casual will probably be like,
no.
Who is this new Samoan? so I do hope they tell the story or introduce him properly in a package first.
Yeah, I don't worry. I don't worry. It's WWE. They're not, they're not like AEW that expect you to know. right? So they will somehow tell this story, maybe do backstage interviews, footage, whatever it is. But yes, for now, we got the shocking debut of this. And the guy immediately looks like, you know what I mean? Like, he debuts, he looks freaking jacked to the gills. You're like, oh my God, immediate impressions. First impressions count.
Great first impression,
He came in, beat down Jimmy Uso. So what people are speculating it's like the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline at some point. So you got Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jay back together, reunion, maybe even Sami Zayn, at Survivor Series versus the new bloodline, which could be The Rock, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, and they already planted the seeds because clearly from Paul Heyman's reaction is he wasn't aware of this betrayal or he wasn't aware of this thing that's going down. And if you remember on SmackDown backstage, right, when I think they were checking up on Jimmy and then the reporter asked how's Jimmy's situation? Are you aware of this? Suddenly Tama Tonga comes into the frame and he was looking at him and he said, by the orders of the tribal chief.
Yeah, but
do you get that?
Who is this tribal chief? Who are they talking about?
Which tribal chief are they taking orders from?
Are you talking about Rock, Solo, or Roman Reigns? We don't know. So that is the big quote-unquote mystery. So there's apparently on SmackDown, there's going to be this whole who is the new bloodline tribal chief?
Bro, I tell you,
power struggle.
Depending on the amount of family members they have, right? I think this bloodline chapter, bro, can be like the days of our life. I think it can go on for the next decade, bro.
bro, then you know what needs to happen, right?
What,
then
bro?
Bloodline can feud with the Latinos. Because LW also got growing, and then they have factions. So LW versus Legado del Fantasma.
Bro, you've been wanting to have like a Mexican telenovela all this while, right?
Yeah.
Got one corner of the WWE universe, all the Mexican telenovela happening over there.
But got no romantic, storyline. That time, Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah Mysterio, then got love triangle, or the love story, all this. This one just fight only.
I tell you, Dominic will fall for Zelina Vega or like God. Elektra Lopez, then Rhea not happy.
Excuse me? Are you suggesting he breaks up with Mami? How dare you?
I mean, he's a dirty dom, bro. He can't help himself.
The girls like the the bad boys, right?
Yeah, there was this one quote I think the dom said in an interview. Like somebody was asking, "Will you ever wear the mask full time, take over Rey Mysterio's mantle?" And then he said, "Nah, I'm too good looking." I'm too good looking. So, bro, not only was it a perfect heel response, I agree, bro. I think he's quite good looking, bro. I think he shouldn't wear the mask.
Okay, sure. I wonder if down the road there's some sort of redemption angle for him. But okay, never mind. It's just me pondering things. So there you go. There's SmackDown. To be fair,
there was a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about SmackDown as well.
Okay.
I know it's only been a week in, but how do you feel about Cody Rhodes, promos on Raw and SmackDown? And people, I think our wrestling fans are so fickle already. I really see on the comment section people are saying that, wow, this is boring. I want Roman again. Starting already. Do you see it?
Just, yes, but people are just being people. I'm fine. He's taking a victory lap at this point, Yes, it'll probably get annoying after a while. But I'm fully aware, or I think that Triple H is fully aware of this, and he knows better than to book him into weird spots like that. So at this point, really, in Papa H, I trust.
Yeah, we've seen it happen before in AEW, right? When his so-called eloquent, rambling monologues became, tiresome to that fan. But in WWE, how are you going to keep that style of promo fixated now that he has finished his story? They need to figure out very soon how we're going to book a babyface champion, right?
But once again, too, that style of promo works in the WWE because, say what you want. It's a very corporate, very proper, professional audience. They expect that sort of thing out of the WWE, right? Whereas in the AEW, they're a bunch of, jaded, we hate the establishment fans. Let's call a spade, right? The whole genesis of AEW was we want an alternative. We hate the evil corporation and we want something different, something a little bit more outlaw. And Cody is the exact opposite of that. He is a company man through and through.
So maybe he was miscasted as the rebellion's leader in a way. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I tend to agree. So my concern and what I'm interested is looking at in terms of the way they book Cody as a champion. How is he gonna sustain that babyface interest in him?
It's been a week. It's been a week, bro. You're becoming one of those.
No.
Let
I'm
him
not
cook.
saying. I'm not saying I'm the guy. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I'm curious to see.
I know.
I want to see. Yeah.
Let Papa Ish cook.
Yeah. Okay, so number one contender for Cody Rhodes' title. They booked 2 triple threat matches.
Yes.
LA Knight won the first one. AJ Styles won the second one. Clearly, this is gonna be a way for AJ Styles to get his victory back, right?
Oh, what do you mean get his victory back? As in,
well, because LA Knight beat him at WrestleMania.
So
right?
So during the quote unquote the finals of this tournament,
yeah, which is this coming week's SmackDown. I feel like babyface versus babyface, LA Knight and Cody Rhodes, I think a bit too soon, right?
A bit.
Right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. They could make it work, but why? Just make it simple. You got heel versus babyface. It's not a main event that I'm very excited to see, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean they need something for Backlash, a pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, it's SideQuest boss lah. We all know SideQuest boss.
Yeah. But I'm very intrigued because he mentioned NWA in his promo. Cody Rhodes did. So I would love to see some Bullet Club references being mentioned. I would love to see, AJ Styles really going back to that main event level. So I don't hate it because jacked up AJ Styles hits different anyway. So
yeah, and plus they are in a really nice position right now that the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw side also has very exciting possibilities, right?
Yes.
So it's fine.
Yeah, but my last question then will. The WWE draft, which is supposedly happening at the end of this month, will it fuck up the things or will it help, give the kind of fresh blood that people are wanting?
I think it can only give fresh blood. Like right now, what's happening is they are dealing with the fallout. So they're clearing up some stuff, maybe wrapping up some storylines, starting the thread of new storylines, right? And then once the draft hits, now you can full ball on whatever you have planned. So yeah, just give it time and just enjoy the ride. I think we are in a really good spot as a pro wrestling fan right now,
Yep. I agree. So yeah, generally I'm happy with the fallout from WWE, and I feel the momentum will continue. Another chapter has begun with the Bloodline.
Yes,
Cody Rhodes is settling into his new role. We shall see what stories WWE will tell in the next month ahead.
And I mean, let's be real, right? Along the way, we will have episodes that just feel like filler episodes, that was the big thing. Like, in the lead up to WrestleMania, even there were episodes of Raw and SmackDown that felt like, they just go out there just to string us along a little bit more. But then we all enjoyed the payoff, did we not?
Yeah,
we all forgot about those weeks already. So it's bound to happen. Like people on the that's the thing about comments on the internet. People just say whatever in the moment. Oh, boring already. Win 1 week. It's like, but then they were probably very happy when Cody won. So it's just commenters being commenters. No need to look too much into that.
Group thing. I respect, some of our Discord members, people like Gaddafi, Najwan, people who still watch AEW and are fans of New Japan because they love what they love, right?
And nothing wrong with that.
There was a point when that might be the majority to support AEW, and right now it's not as cool. But if you enjoy a style of wrestling and that's what you love, like no one can take that away. But no one can accuse you of switching sides just because it's convenient, right?
Yeah. Right? But that being said, though, it is really like you are running a different business. You notice the entire mood changed the second we pivoted.
It's your voice, lah. Your voice
is my voice. Oh, thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. Last week, I went out on a limb. Just to give context to this, right? I went out on a limb and I said, when they announced that, they being the Young Bucks, when they announced that they were going to air the All In London footage, I said, this is going to be a bait and switch. It's going to be some stupid skit by the Young Bucks. They're going to hee ha ha, do it for the laughs, do it for ratings pop, whatever. Nope. I was wrong. And therefore, as a man of my word, I shall watch AEW Dynamite from start to finish. For an entire month. Just Dynamite. I'm not going to do Rampage or Collision, please. But Dynamite, yes. I started with this week's Dynamite because I saw the footage on social media first. And then I was like, I literally said, shit. Now I have to watch Dynamite for a month. Which, okay.
Yeah. Some of the listeners were like DMing me and saying like, so that means Young will watch for a year, right? I'm like,
I don't know who came out with this, Like people in my chat were like, so you're watching for, I think Sir Who's came into my TikTok live stream one time, say, hey, you watch a year. I'm like, hey bro, 1 month. I said month, okay? Go back and watch the episode. I said month, not a year.
Okay. Let's set the parameters right. Okay, so Mr. Young is gonna be watching Dynamite for all of April. Let's cap it at April, okay?
So good. 1, 2, 3. Okay lah. So you got your 10th, 17th, 24th, and 1st of May, Ken.
Okay, settle. 4 episodes, then you can give us a very objective review because I don't watch Dynamite from start to finish, bro. So okay. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts.
I will admit this right now, right?
Okay, go for
that
it.
When you don't watch a product and you're so far removed from the product, it's a lot easier to criticize. I will say that, right?
Okay.
So now that I've actually watched, I have a better understanding of what is going on. And I will say that I feel bad for the people who are there who are genuinely trying to make this damn thing work.
Okay.
Because...
Can you give me like a review of Dynamite? Since the all-in stuff, we'll talk about that later to wrap up. But tell me, like from start to finish, like your thoughts on each match, the flow of the show, all that.
I feel like the same problems exist in that and I know we're not supposed to compare, but this seems like a dated presentation at this point with everything that's so fresh in the WWE right now. Camera angles, presentation. Even though that Dynamite just spruced up their look and everything, it feels like an old WWE presentation. So that's the first thing that I immediately noticed. Like, this is like I'm being taken back to, like Vince McMahon era of WWE, which is not a good thing, right?
Isn't that ironic? Because when AEW first came out, everything about it felt so real and the presentation was fresh, right?
So WWE just took this major step up. And AEW just brought in some of the production staff that used to work at WWE. So it makes sense that suddenly their presentation is starting to look like that old WWE style, doesn't it?
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So there's that. And then I see what they're doing with certain things because they kicked off the night with like the whole interaction between Swerve and... not Swerve, sorry. Swerve, Samoa Joe, right? Because there was going to be a main event, blah, blah, blah. So I get it. Yeah, they're trying to generate hype for the main event. So it's like the poor man's version of WrestleMania's main event lah. You got a Joe versus a Rhodes.
Right, random, right? Dusty Rhodes all of a sudden.
But they did it on purpose. Joe versus a Rhodes.
Of course. But so I believe Samoa Joe and Justin Rhodes was supposed to start off the night, the match itself.
The idea of them sort of postponing the match because Swerve came in and disturbed. I get why they're doing it, but it seems kind of dumb, Yeah. Not to take away from the fact that Swerve is super over. My God. He's their most over guy.
Okay, so Swerve's reaction is great. Is he still a heel or is he like a full-blown babyface? What is he now?
So... he's a heel that did dastardly things, but that audience liked it so much that now he's forced to... be a face, but still...
how do tweener? An anti-hero? Tweener?
No, he's definitely a face. They're definitely making him play into it, but he still does like, heelish things like, using the chain and everything. It's kind of like Stone Cold if you think about it. Like he can do no wrong, right?
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. And like the crowd is solidly behind him. That's their top guy right now at this point.
It is. Well, and the thing is, people are behind Samoa Joe also. They
So isn't this technically a very a compelling main event feud? Because there are two over guys that the audience in AEW loves, right?
It is. And I don't know about the presentation before, but I don't know. I think it might be just a presentation thing. It's not something that has been elevated to that point, We just, like I said, you have to think about it in context of what is going on. And what has been going on is completely cast a gigantic shadow over this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it just feels like a B-show main event feud lah.
It does. But once again, nothing wrong if you enjoy this stuff, right? Let me just very quickly go through the other matches. So you had Anna Jay versus Mariah May. I mean, the match was like, but the post-match stuff with the HLA, like, what is this? What is this?
We are back in 2002, is it?
Okay, so once again, do you expect me to know who this lady is? I know on commentary they said that she was tag teaming with Mariah May in Stardom or something like that lah.
Is the Japanese girl, right? Mina,
yeah. And then she came out, did the celebration with champagne glasses. I don't know what the context of that is. And then she kissed her. And then the crowd was like, of course they chill out because, HLA. But I'm like, it just felt like a cheap ratings grab. Everything about this episode felt like a cheap ratings grab. But
Got you. Okay.
Funnily enough, this was not the most egregious of the night.
Okay.
We all know which is the worst.
Yeah, we all know that, right? Wasn't there Adam Copeland segment?
So Adam Copeland versus Penta was the first match.
Oh, okay.
Like first proper match lah after the whole schmoz at the start, and like I don't know what to say about Penta because we all know he is athletic. He is very 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 well loved. It's a face versus face match. It's like the TNT Copeland Open Challenge, whatever they want to call it lah.
Cope Open, right?
Cope Open, yeah. Honestly, I was never a fan of the John Cena US Open Challenge because half the time, you know who's going to win. It's a glorified, it's like, okay, some guy's going to challenge, they're going to have a halfway decent match, and that's it. Technically, there are no stakes because we know that Copeland, or we know that John Cena's not going to freaking lose, right? Except for the one time, remember, Kevin Owens came out. That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
When Kevin Owens, I'm talking about Kevin Owens, the NXT champion, challenged the US champion. Do you remember this?
Yes, of course. And then he beat John Cena, right? And shocked everyone. No, to me, the format works only if two things, right? Like Adam Copeland does highlight the newer stars or the stars that they want to push to get over, or like it leads to, again, what you say, like a shock, upset victory, and it pushes, a new star. But Penta has been there for a while. He hasn't been established as anything more than a tag team wrestler.
Dude, exactly. Right? No, dude, exactly. I'm like, oh, it's Penta. Like, everything that he did with Edge, though impressive, athletic, there's nothing I haven't seen before, Like, you know what I mean? So it's not like he highlighted a new wrestler, showed me the grit of this new young boy or whatever. It's like, oh, this is the same old shit. So I felt nothing from that match. Not taking away from the match that it wasn't exciting, it was a fun match. Once again, doing the Cero Mero thing, which he overdoes, I swear,
Okay.
Like, but whatever.
But what about Adam Copeland doing this style of wrestling? Is he showing something new? Is that what he's trying to show? That he can hang in this style?
I think so. It's like Daniel Bryan. It's like Sting almost. It's like he's trying to show these young guys that I'm cool. I can still hang with you. To me, I feel like Edge shouldn't be in that position. He should be in that position where he can come out, punch, kick, and leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. That's why the Chris Jericho, was so watered down because he tried to do too much, right?
Bro, we are gonna talk about Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put a bow on Adam Copeland first, right?
Okay, I didn't hate the match.
Okay,
but I think it served no purpose.
So that leads me to my next question. Do you think Adam Copeland telling everyone that I just go to AEW so I can fight all these dream matches that I want, does it make sense storyline-wise?
What do you mean, like in his own head or in AEW's narrative? Like, I don't understand.
So what I mean is like, does it make sense when a wrestler comes to a promotion and says that I want to go to your promotion so I can have all these dream matches with all these different people. I can't wait to work and touch hands with all these people.
Yeah.
But so what? That's just a series of exhibition matches. What?
Yeah lah. No, that's exactly it. You go back to what CM Punk said. I am preaching the CM Punk gospel right now.
Oh, but you're a follower.
I'm a follower. I'm a cult of what's that? The Straight Edge Society. There you go. No, going back to what he said, right? If your idea of doing great work is wrestling with your friends, making a shit ton of money doing it because of what's his face, but wrestling to a half empty or 3/4 empty stadium, then good for you. But it's not their business. It's not WWE, it's not CM Punk's business. So who are we to say that Edge is not doing the right thing? He's doing the right thing for himself, ma. He gets to hang out with his friends, work with the people he wants to work with, but it's all fun and games. And that's the point, I think, is that, AEW is in a different business. They are in the indie, let's have fun while we can because this guy is paying us a shit ton of money mode.
I want to say something that might be a controversial take.
Mm-hmm.
But, we all love Edge. We respect his story, everything with his retirement coming, all that kind of stuff. But there is a reason why he was always 1A to John Cena. And now, being in a promotion where he's supposedly the top guy, it just proves the fact that he is not the draw on the level of all these number top star of the generation.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He played his role in the WWE. They didn't have anything for him anymore. He wanted to do more. They were like, okay, we think that you are tapped out already. And I think, like you look at Rey Mysterio at this point right now, right? It's kind of like, oh, okay, it's Rey Law. Whereas, when Rey came back, it was a big deal. Now it's like, oh, it's Rey again.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't want Adam or Edge to overstay his welcome. So he was like, oh, screw it, I'll just go the other side. And he's making the money. He's doing what he wants to do. So more power to him. It's just that it's not helping AEW's business, actual business.
Correct. Unless they book him like Sting, which I think he would have made him a bigger deal. But he didn't because, AEW has now proven themselves a track record of misusing their stars.
Because you don't have a proper leader. And we'll get to that in just a bit, right? But, it's like sometimes you have to protect the workers, your talent from themselves. They want to wrestle every week because it's their joy and love. But sometimes you have to tell them, okay, no, we need to hold back a bit. So anyway, it is what it is. You got the NJ Mariah May match with the lesbian kids. Okay, great, whatever,
Speaking of holding back, are they holding back Mercedes Moné? Because I haven't seen her do anything other than just talk only.
So there was a backstage promo, somebody beat her up, right? And then it was like, oh, who beat her up because the lights went out? Whatever. It's kind of lame. Anyway, Huh?
So that means they didn't feature her at all in the ring at all. Nothing.
No.
Just backstage.
Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody told her, Tony Khan, like, she should not. You should limit her appearances. And then so he was like, okay, we'll just put her in talking appearances where she's not, going to be showcasing her full strength. I'm bored already.
She's not a Roddy Piper. She can't talk people into the arena.
No, bro, I'm bored. And I hate to say it, but I'm not interested in what she has going on coming up at Dynasty. Based on what I've seen so far.
There's nothing going on for her in Dynasty because she said she will only wrestle her first match at Double or Nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's
2 months away.
Yeah, and it's not like she's so entertaining on the mic that you want to die to see her. I guess the whole storyline now is who attacked her. So that's, what they're going for.
This is like WWE SmackDown vs. Raw storyline, bro. Season mode.
But you get what I'm saying when this entire presentation feels like old WWE, which, they were railing against. That was the whole foundation they were built on. We are anti-WWE. We are sports-based presentation. Now look who is actually doing the sports-based presentation. It's kind of mad if you think about it.
So technically, their mission statement, their so-called thesis on what will make wrestling successful, it's not wrong, right? Sports-based presentation, making it realistic is what would have made you a big deal.
Yep.
But they just couldn't execute it.
No, they couldn't execute it because they didn't have the right people. And at the end of the day, there's only one person to blame here. And he might disconnect our internet, so we better, watch what we say. Okay. But the buck stops, pun not intended, the buck stops at the top of the food chain. The guy making the decision, saying yes and no. We'll get to him in just a bit. But you had Lion Hook and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions. First of all, I don't know who the hell Shane Taylor Promotions is. They look like generic bad guys.
Yeah.
With some sort of hip-hop slant. Okay, fine, whatever. I love Shibata's Google Translate thing. I think it's quite funny, honestly.
Yeah.
And then they're doing this whole, oh my God, Chris Jericho's like trying to mentor Hook, right? And then he's obviously playing off a bit of an arrogant mentor. Like, just listen to me, forget about all this game plan, blah, blah, just listen to me. He's like the cringe lord of AEW right now. Like, every time he does his thing, like, oh, what are you doing? It's so cringe.
Bro, he just copyrighted Learning Tree as one of his copyrights, one of his trademarks. He can't help himself, bro. You need to trademark everything, bro.
Now I'm starting to see, right? Like, having someone like, obviously we hate what Vince did, but having sort of somebody to say, no, that's not a great idea. Let's go with something else. Like, he's truly the guy who throws 100 ideas at the wall and one sticks. The problem is now he's throwing 100 ideas out there and 99 of them he's doing it. live on TV. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Remember, we always talk about how Chris Jericho couldn't fit in the WWE locker room. He always butt heads. He always have all these ideas, but they keep pushing him down. But maybe they were trying to protect his worst tendencies in the WWE.
No, it's just like John Moxley, right? They're protecting him from himself.
Yeah.
People who have done it before, and for better or for worse, you never know, right? Like there's some people who maybe don't see your vision, but now truly he is in a place where the guy is like, okay, let's do it, whatever you want, now he's doing some of his cringiest work ever.
Yeah, the thing about Chris Jericho is I feel that I always thought he would listen to fans, right?
Yeah.
He listens and he reacts accordingly. But I feel that he doesn't, because if he opens social media, a lot of people will just say, bro, you're old, just get retired, just, take, even if you don't want to retire, just, go away for a while, refresh your character. It's all over social media. I'm sure he reads it, but he's stubborn. He's like, no, I'm gonna prove to you all I still got something left in me.
He boomer, bro. He don't want to listen. He want. It's very, and I don't want to say, not like I'm a great actor or anything, but it's very obvious where he's trying to lead this storyline down, and it's tedious AF. It is cringeworthy AF. And so they do the match. They lose because Y2J and Hook, they were arguing about something. Shibata took the loss, blah, blah, blah. So it became a whole I didn't feel anything about Shane Taylor Promotions. I didn't get to know them better through this. It's completely, this whole angle is about Jericho and Hook. Even Shibata, he had his moments, but he's just like a third wheel in this. So they're obviously leading to Hook versus Chris Jericho, Lionheart. And Chris, his pop has dropped dramatically in terms of when he comes out, people being excited. No more Judas. No more sing-along.
Chris doesn't use Judas anymore, right?
No, he uses some other music, his Lionheart music or whatever it is.
So this is like a mini Lionheart run, that's what I'm trying to say.
I did not enjoy it. It just felt very community theater.
Bro, let's be honest. When was the last AEW rivalry or feud that Chris Jericho had that actually got people hooked or really into it?
Bro, his first run.
So
that's
basically,
about it.
Everything after he losing the title after MJF, that's it, right? Because I'm trying to remember, right? Did anything good come out of the Jericho Appreciation Society?
Nope. No, it kind of just fizzled out, didn't it?
He didn't build anyone from there.
Yeah, at least the inner circle, they had a blow off somehow. I obviously I don't remember exactly, right? The inner circle had some sort of a blow off, but the JAS sort of just you blink and all of a sudden they have disappeared. They've sort of broken up. Yeah,
the blow off was getting MJF into the group.
Oh yeah,
MJF, turned him, or took over the group, and then created the Pinnacle. Remember, the Pinnacle was a thing. There was some storyline sense to whatever that went down that time, right?
Yeah.
But I feel literally what you say, he's just I got no more feud. I'm gonna just start a random 4-month rivalry or 3-month rivalry. I'm gonna just throw sticks at the wall.
Yeah.
But bro, he needs to go away, because if not, he's gonna retire where there's no pop, no reaction to him,
Yeah, and that's a shame, because he's obviously done really great things in the industry, right? So there's that. The main event was a banger. You got two veterans in there.
Yeah, Dustin was great. Yeah, Dustin was great, right?
It really did feel like a Wish.com version of WrestleMania's main event. But that aside, you got to respect the two, veterans, right?
Yeah.
See, here's my big problem now. Here's my big problem. And we'll get to the meat of the matter, right? It's I don't care how good the rest of the stuff was. Okay, to me, Adam Copeland versus Penta and the main event were sort of all right, the positives. Let's call, even though I was not a fan of Copeland versus Penta, because, that match was okay, whatever, it had no heat lah. At least those who are entertaining, doesn't embarrass the business or the company, right? The rest of it was just mediocre or worse.
Yeah.
What really sank this entire show for me, and once again, self-inflicted wound, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the Young Bucks came out with the idea, it doesn't matter if Will Ospreay came out with the idea. Tony Khan has to say. He's the boss, right? Yep. Even if Young Bucks came out with this whole idea, even if Will Ospreay came out with the idea to trash Triple H on the mic, Tony Khan could have said no. It's even worse if Tony Khan was the one who told them to do it. There are some reports that say, yes, it was Tony's idea. Some reports that say it was the talent's idea. Who the hell knows? All this is conjecture at this point, right?
Yep.
No confirmation. But what we all do know is Tony Khan ultimately has the final say. So he needs to be responsible for what goes out on his television show. And what he put on his television show. Okay, which one you start with, bro? Which one you want to start with?
Let's start with the co-main event, which is Will Ospreay's promo. let's get that out of the way first.
You have one of your big $1 million signings, who is a massive baby face right now. He goes out there and I've said it before, I'll say it again. He is a really good promo. Yeah, even though he has an English accent, the whole bruv thing, I think that can get over. It has gotten over in a way, right?
Agreed.
And we agree that he's phenomenal in the ring, but he needs to dial it back. Save moves, save sequences, not try to overdo it, right?
Yeah.
And I guess, maybe Tony Khan told him to do it. Maybe he felt like he should have done it, but he wanted to address Triple H's comments. So Triple H on the Pat McAfee show mentioned about certain signings. He didn't name any names, by the way. So he could have been referring to Kenny Omega, Mercedes Moné, anybody. But whatever, maybe he was talking about Will Ospreay. Who gives a shit, right? But Triple H basically said, some people, they don't like or they want to do our schedule. They don't want to embrace our grind, whatever it is. And if that's not what you want, then we don't want you here. Which, to be honest, is a very fair statement to make. What do you think about that? Do you think that he was swanning them? Or is he just saying, look, if you don't want to work our schedule, then we don't need you here?
I see both sides, actually, to be really honest.
Okay.
I see, Triple H's point of view. I don't think he's throwing him under the bus.
No.
And you have to understand the context, right? He is saying it on a podcast. He's not saying it on WWE programming, right?
Yes.
And he's saying that, if at your level in your career where you just started out, you really do not want to embrace the grind, then how can we rely on you as a top star in the future? Because WWE's model is you need to, be doing all this, media and all these dates, and that is the WWE system, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to embrace that, then we don't want you here. I think that's fair on his point of view. But I also see maybe Will Ospreay's point of view, where maybe when he was actually having all these legit, private conversations while negotiating with WWE, he probably made it very clear, I have a family in London, I have a stepson and he's going through I want to raise him there in London. So I want to be based in London, right? But I'm willing to come to US, to do all the dates, to train and all that kind of stuff. But I do not want to be away from my family. So I do not want to relocate my family.
Sure.
He probably laid, very clearly for everyone. And if WWE was insistent and say that, no, we do not want you to make your schedule work. We want you to come like everyone else, train in a performance center and then be based in US. And then he said, no, I can't. I disagree. I think I'm going to take this deal instead, which maybe might have paid me more money, sure, but gave me the schedule that I need for my family. Nothing wrong, because for us, we also not slaves to our corporate government, our companies, right? We also want to be able to have that work-life balance, blah, blah, blah. So nothing wrong with Will Ospreay saying that, I do not want this schedule.
No, absolutely.
It doesn't work for me, right? The problem is, it should have gotten out in public, and Triple H put it out in public.
He put the sentiment lah. Because here's the thing, somebody asked him about it. So is he going to just say no comment? I get what you're saying, but once again, to your point, he did it on a podcast, not on television where television time is money. He wasn't being petty on television. Whereas the Will Ospreay thing, here's the thing. You had 5 minutes to go out there and promote your match against Bryan Danielson at Dynasty, and you spent half of it talking about Triple H. And, those who don't know won't know what the hell you're talking about, right? We talked about this before. Your casual will be like, what talking about the grind, all this, referring to someone, and then make jokes about grinding. Okay, so this is I don't know who wrote this line for him, the whole grinding on the boss's daughter line, right? It's like, are you seriously going and putting somebody down, somebody who is right now at the peak of his of his run? And everyone is universally praising him for the work he's done for the wrestling industry, taking it to heights it's never been before. in charge of some of the best storylines and story arcs right now. Are you really throwing that guy under the bus? What kind of idiot are you? And if somebody wrote that for him, then the boss, whoever who wrote that for him, needs to ask themselves, what the hell are you trying to do? It's obviously it's petty behavior. They're showing their pettiness right now. Either it's Will Ospreay or it's whoever who asked him to say this, showing their pettiness right now.
Going back to your point about, they're not in the same business of, putting butts in seats, right?
Yeah.
What was the takeaway from that promo? Did anyone come away from that promo thinking, oh man, I can't wait to watch Dynasty and see Will Ospreay fight Bryan Danielson?
No, exactly. So, okay, he finally did pivot to talking about Bryan Danielson, but there was not much to that because he has spent most of the time talking about the other company that's doing better, right? And your diehard fans will get the reference. Your casual audience won't know. But nobody came away from that thinking, oh, I must watch Dynasty.
Bro,
What waste of TV time. He talked about wasting TV time. He did exactly that.
Okay, let me put my Tony Khan cap here, right?
Oh, God.
I'm the booker of AEW right now, okay?
Bro, hang on. Don't fear for your life.
No. I am fearless. Okay, so that doesn't make me Tony Khan then. But anyway, here's what I would do with this promo, okay? I'm given 5 minutes. I'm supposed to promote Dynasty, my dream match with Bryan Danielson, and I want to get something off my chest because I'm very, unhappy that Triple H clearly took a shot at me, even though it's implied, he never called out my name, right?
Yeah.
He can say, hey, I've heard rumors saying that, I don't embrace the grind, right? And then people say that, I'm not willing to work, embrace the grind. And I'm saying I'm looking at you, Bryan Danielson. You've been you know what I mean? Make it about the feud, right?
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, you might say that, I'm one of your dream matches, dream opponents, and you might have said that, you want to go New Japan and achieve all these goals. I've done that. I have done your career better than you ever wish you could.
Oh, bro, what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro, no, not exactly. But here's the thing, right? You think he's CM Punk. You think he can cut the promos that CM Punk can? See, going back, I told you just now, right? I watch a whole bunch of old CM Punk stuff, right? He has the ability of blending, promoting the next thing, but also slipping reality into that. Yeah, that's the beauty. That's the that's
his secret sauce.
That
Only CM Punk can do it well.
Bro, exactly. That is the secret sauce. He is smart enough to judge the crowd reaction instantly. When he throws something out that's too inside and he realizes it, he'll pivot and start promoting what's next.
Correct.
He knows how to do the business. Whereas these guys, because their job is not to get people interested for the next show, they will just say whatever they want and they just are working for the mark audience. They are catering. They are catering hardcore, 100% to the mark audience who knows exactly. Oh, he's talking about Triple H. No, and even then, even if you want to swan Triple H for the mark audience, like I said, Triple H is right now being revered. Why are you swanning the guy who is universally looked at as the person that has brought pro wrestling back? Look, even the smart fans right now, right? At least I would say 90% of them love what Triple H is doing. So why would you go and make your top babyface shit himself like that? That's stupid. That's petty, stupid bullshit.
Even if he can't do a CM Punk and can't orate his thoughts in that way, right? He can literally just answer his so-called critics by laying out his resume, bro. I am a IWGP champion. I've went through freaking G1 Climax how many times? You know what I mean?
Bro, put together a footage, a package, B-roll, whatever. They have the production people do that. I think that would have. I always say this: show me, don't tell me. Right?
Correct.
Put together a best of highlights. Show you my grind, whatever. But
correct.
It was just I feel bad because honestly, if Tony told him to do that, I feel bad for Will because Tony being petty made his top draw look like shit.
Yep. If it was Will Ospreay's idea, I was Tony Khan, I would say don't say in a promo.
Yeah. Say it on the podcast. I'm sure he can get his ass on Busted Open, Kick to the Gut, or any of the pod. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Yeah, no, that's exactly it, right? Like you want to do all these like insider jabs, do it in a different medium. Don't do it on precious television time where you're supposed to be putting butts in seats.
Because, on TV, they're trying to tell the story that, they're just competing with each other, Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. Top that, beat that. why can't he just make it part of the storyline where he squashes an opponent, and after that he go walk past Bryan Danielson and say like, can you can you top that? Can you embrace the grind better than that? Or some shit like that. Like that can be their wing if they want, but it still serves the storyline.
It just smacks of pettiness. That's the problem. It smacks of pettiness. It makes the whole company look bad, and it serves zero purpose whatsoever. Yeah. Talking about pettiness and serving no purpose whatsoever, I guess it's time to talk about the main event
of this podcast. I love how every time we were talking about other things, you're like, okay, just later on, just a moment. You're gonna talk about this.
We are doing the WWE thing. You got to tease. You got to cradle the ball sack a bit. You know what I mean? You can't give the full action right off the bat. Wow, that was a hell of an analogy, but.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not from experience, Mr. Young, but yes, it was a great analogy.
But before we do that, we want to say thank you to our wonderful sponsors right now. Mirage Advisory, who have very generously come in to say, hey, we like what you guys are doing. We're wrestling fans as well, and we want to shout out about wrestling. So, guys, do us a favor. All right, go to their Instagram page right now, Mirage Advisory, type that in, drop them a follow.
Yes, follow them for the best there is, the best there was, and best there ever will be in terms of taking care of you. And also, just know that, bro, guys, no matter what it is, WrestleMania might be over, but we are in the new era. We are in the Mirage Advisory era.
If you smell what Mirage are cooking. All right, so it's time for the main event. The reason I'm watching Dynamite, and like I said this on my Twitch stream the other day, right? Like, you can have really delicious Wagyu beef, but if it's sandwiched in between two pieces of shit, it's still a shit sandwich. It's not a beef sandwich, it's a shit sandwich still.
So you don't take your sandwich with bread lah. It's only Wagyu and shit together.
Look, no matter how good the matches were, and like I said before, there were bright spots, but by and large, it was kind of a meh episode to me, right?
Yeah.
You have embarrassing that's just pure embarrassing. From no matter how you try to look at this, it's just embarrassing. Let me look at it as somebody who, is a little bit more invested in the industry, first of all. You had the Young Bucks come out and cut the driest, most asinine. They have zero fucking charisma. They made me curse. First F-bomb.
You talk about CM Punk having a 1 hour and 20 minutes promo list, right?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever compiled the top 10 Young Bucks promos of all time? Serious question.
I want someone to put that up and then see how many views it gets. Because good God, man. You watched this whole segment, I assume.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. First of all, and once again, like if Tony Khan forced them to do it and they didn't want to do it, then shame on Tony Khan. If they wanted to do it and Tony Khan let them do it, shame on Tony Khan. Once again, everything stops at Tony Khan, right? So whatever, like, what I think about the Young Bucks, take that aside. This is Tony Khan's fault, you know? They try to, I can't even remember because their promo was so dry. How they tried to frame it in that, like, they were trying to market their match against FTR. The summary of this was they are trying to promote their match against FTR by showing this footage. How does that even make any sense whatsoever?
It was a reach lah. Let's just put it that way. Like, remember how I talked about how Will Ospreay should have pivoted and made that whole jab about the feud with Bryan Danielson. So the idea was there with this scenario, trying to make it about FTR and Young Bucks. But I tell you, it's such a reach. Like, no link, bro. The link like that, cannot reach.
It was tenuous at best, right?
Yeah.
And so they do this like super insider promo where and once again, it's part of my profession too, bro. Whenever I do what I do on the radio, right, I never talk about things too quote-unquote insider. I know I'm a huge fan of Marvel, for example, right? I'm not going to use insider terms when I talk about the latest Marvel movie. I will always talk about it in a way where if you don't know what the hell any of this means, you will understand. This is what all of them should be doing. This is what CM Punk understands. A lot of the best promos understand this, right? But the Young Bucks don't. And so none of it made sense. When I put on my casual cap, this whole thing was like, okay, we're going to show you some footage. And then they showed the footage. I'm pretty sure for legal reasons, they cannot play audio, nor can they narrate over it, nor can they put music over it. I'm sure it's a legal thing. It has to be like not doctored whatsoever. It's probably a legal thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you had this footage. You can't really see CM Punk's face, and CM Punk can probably sue them if his face appears. To be honest,
Yeah.
and it's just it is what it is. First of all, those who know that CM Punk had already described this exactly, blow by blow on the Errol Hawani show. Errol Hawani even put up a video of CM Punk talking, and the footage side by side comparison is exactly what happened, right?
Yep.
Funny thing, that video got copyright strike. A lot of people putting up videos like these got copyright strike. Interesting.
Now they're scared. Now they want to backtrack.
Yeah. So why put this thing that to the casual means nothing? To the insider fans, and we saw all the footage online of fans in the crowd, they were chanting CM Punk. So you're getting a guy over that's not on your show. A guy who, the joke is the dude was on Raw, on Dynamite, on WrestleMania weekend. Like, he was having a moment, CM Punk.
And the funniest thing is, right, not only did they copyright strike everything down, they actually uploaded the full segment on their AEW YouTube channel, and then they removed the exact footage. So their segment on the YouTube, right, got no context, It's just the Young Bucks talking about it, then suddenly it cuts to FTR coming out.
Yeah. What? It has, okay. I don't know what happened. It smacks to me of pettiness. After CM Punk went out there and, quote unquote, made Tony Khan look bad, translation, told the truth, he got butthurt. And he's like,
very clearly,
I pull out the footage, which makes CM Punk look even better. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how much of a self-inflicted wound this is.
Bro, the only way, right, Tony Khan AEW would have come out looking good, right, was if there was actual AEW cameras rolling, not CCTV, actual AEW cameras rolling, following stuff back. So you know how they do the behind the scenes kind of shit?
Yeah.
Saw CM Punk with audio saying whatever, showing Jungle Boy being calm and not saying anything that actually triggers him.
Yep.
And then when CM Punk lays the first punch or the first shove, which was clearly for all to see, he did it. He did shove him. He did try to, choke him out a little bit. Right? And we all know now, maybe we didn't see it at first, but Tony Khan was actually just out of the frame, sitting on the monitors, right? And we did see the monitor shake, the table shake. If we could actually see CM Punk literally like lunging for Tony Khan, going for his neck or whatever it is, and Tony Khan like maybe fell over or like really something that would have hurt him or made him felt like he feared for his life, then maybe people will be like, okay, I think CM Punk went a bit overboard by the way he acted, blah, blah. And it shouldn't have been released 8 months later. It should have been released that the week after when Tony Khan made that announcement. Unfortunately, we have to fire CM Punk because of what he did this. Then they show the footage. And then they can move on. Not 8 months later, revisit an old wound.
Yeah.
You get you?
It really, everything about it feels petty, feels like a ratings, because they're also trying to renegotiate their TV deal. So it smacks of, okay, let's just since all this talk is going out there, let's just try to spike a rating. And we've seen the ratings. It is embarrassing. Okay, you did it for what? 50,000 or something like they got up to 800,000. That was their highest, not even 1 million.
800,000 used to be the average.
Yeah.
And then in the last 3 weeks, for some reason, ever since Mercedes Moné debuted, it
plummeted.
It plummeted to 750, and now they're just back to their average.
Yeah. So, was it worth it getting all this negative backlash as well? Because literally nobody's out there going, yeah, this was a good, even the diehard AEW fans are going, what are you doing? This is petty. This is 8 months too late.
Oh my God. Even if their only intention was to create some sort of
buzz
or trending topic so that they are still in the news cycle. Yes, people talk about them, but in the worst kind of PR backfiring way.
Okay, so will people watch next week to see, they really effed up this week, let's watch next week to see how they recover? Do you think maybe that's what they're going for? They always say no such thing as bad press, right? So yes, it's gotten people talking, even though it's majority negative. Do you think it's gotten, maybe they're like, I don't care, I just want people to talk because I want ratings. Do you think that's the thought process?
Maybe people will watch because, like you, they lost a bet and then they have to watch for the next 1 month. No, but no, they won't because their draw is on WWE's programming right now.
The guy they're cheering for is on the other side.
Yeah, who is their draw? Okay, legit question. Who are you gonna watch AEW Dynamite for? Because I would say I would watch Dynamite to see what Will Ospreay does. I'm curious to see Adam Copeland, Swerve Strickland, Joe. But if you want to put it in WWE context, they are like the Jey Uso, the Sami Zayn, the Kevin Owens.
Upper mid-card at best.
Yes, they are not Roman freaking Reigns or
Rock, CM Punk.
Yeah. There was a moment where MJF could have been that guy. But I would say his run was mixed. Wasn't the all and conquer because halfway through he became a babyface and had a full schmoz with Adam Cole, who is supposed to be the devil.
And then he's disappeared because he's injured. But why bring him back injured?
Because they had to pull the trigger on that devil storyline.
It's just bad planning, bad pivoting, and now bad decisions.
My biggest fear with Tony Khan and AEW is this, right? They have showed their hand.
Yep.
They are putting all their chips on a media rights renewal.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
What makes them think that if Warner Brothers sees this and they are like, oh, you know what? I'm going to pay them even more money to keep this programming on our network.
Nope.
No.
They've just snowballed. Okay, so what this is, it really does seem like a snowball effect, right? They're like, oh shit, let's try something to boost. And that is the big F up. There are memes out there of Renee Young looking very embarrassed when Will Ospreay shat on Triple H. Tony Schiavone, after the video, he was like, oh. And then people are like, oh, he's seen this before in WCW.
He's getting WCW flashbacks, right?
It does because, okay, I watched a lot of that era of WCW when it was like the decline of WCW. I actually randomly caught a lot of it because it was on the TV. I was living with my aunties at the time, right? So I had that to watch. There was no Raw. It was a very sad time in my life.
But WCW only.
Yeah, so I did watch and it has the same vibe. Like, they are trying, they are desperate, they're in desperation mode.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they wouldn't, and this is the most kasian part of it, the most poor thing part of it. Yeah. It's like, they don't need to be in this position. They have talent. They have people that can work.
They have great wrestlers.
They have great wrestlers. They have great backstage people, producers and writers. The problem is one person is single-handedly ruining this for everybody. Because he doesn't want to relinquish control. That's the problem. And that is the most poor thing part of this whole story right now.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? They're trying to make this new tagline in AEW where the best wrestle. And they are half right. They are great wrestlers. One of the best wrestlers in the world are all wrestling in AEW. But again, I've probably said this 1,000 times in our podcast. Wrestling is not enough to sustain an audience. Exhibition wrestling is not enough.
Bro, stop. I want to stop you right there. Because this implies, right, from top to bottom, right, they have banger matches. This is what that implies. It is absolutely the furthest thing from the truth because we still have people like what is his name? The best friends, the most useless one. Chuck Taylor is still there.
Chuck Taylor.
I don't know if them. And then there's the whole thing about the firing of. Let's talk about the firing of certain people, right?
Yeah.
Because and then you know what Tony Khan said at the press scrum, right, after ROH. Oh yeah, I had to make funds for to get the rights for some song. He budget cut. He literally said, I heard the audio finally. I'm like, he literally said that he had to make budget cuts, fire a bunch of wrestlers, take away their livelihood, not pay them anymore, because he needed to license a song for somebody in ROH. I was like, wow, the fact that you freaking openly said that, first of all, dumb. Second of all, what kind of fucked up decision is that?
Bro, and it's for ROH.
Yeah.
How many people are going to watch that?
Yeah. So it's obvious that he's doing this for his own show. He wants Shok Sindiri only. Oh my God, this guy must come out to this audience. Let me cut $100,000. $100,000 for a song, bro. Let me cut $100,000 that could feed this guy for a couple of months or however many a year, right? so that I can have my favorite guy come out to his favorite song. Like, what the Bro, how screwed up is that?
In Singapore context, 100K a year is like what, 8K a month salary maybe?
Yeah.
Bro, 8K a month. You think in Singapore, do people want to take that money and survive?
How out of touch is it? Like, it just paints a picture of a billionaire who's out of touch, who's now very embarrassed because of what, and he lives on he loves the message. He's a message board guy, right?
Yeah.
And now that, CM Punk made him look bad in front of his message board friends, he's panicking. He's to show the footage. CM Punk is the bad guy, and then now he's actually I feel bad for it. I really do, because like this whole I don't doubt that he feared for his life, because I'm sure he has never been in that sort of a situation. Even though he runs a football club, like, you telling me that players never got into it backstage? In the locker room. Maybe he's never been in the locker room. This is the first time he's been in an actual sports locker room, right? And then he's seen something like this. But you think footballers don't get into shoving matches? You think soccer players, you think hockey players don't have altercations? Like, what? So I am convinced that he feared for his life, because he's been in this bubble his whole life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even in school, nobody bullied him because his dad is like a billionaire. You know?
But, okay, it's a lot to take in, right? Like, but my biggest this is something I've observed, right?
Okay.
Probably a lot of people might have it might have gone over their head. I remember when AEW first started, there's a lot of all these backstage cameras and BTS where you see Tony Khan talking to Cody Rhodes, Tony Khan with his coffee coming out and talking to the wrestlers, right? Have you seen any footage of Tony Khan socializing with the wrestlers recently?
I think oh my God, can you imagine if there was a camera and then at some point they released the footage of his evolution? At first he's all happy, and then now he's freaking just huddled in the corner, freaking stressed out of his mind, hair completely.
The hair all exploded.
Yeah. Look, for his own health, he needs to step back. Legit, for the health of the business and his company, but more importantly right now, I think he's reached a point where he needs to justify his own actions, and that's never a good spot. His ego is getting in the way of business.
He needs a sounding board. When a president needs to have a chief of staff to advise him, he needs an advisor. And when I say an advisor, right, how WWE, how it's being run currently. Vince McMahon did everyone's job back in the day. But now they have Triple H to focus on creative. They have Nick Khan to focus on the business aspect. And they have Lee Fitting to do all the production shit, right?
Yes. And Triple H talked about this in the press conference as well. How they have the dream team where everybody is a specialist in their role. They focus on that.
Yes. If Tony Khan wants to be the booker, right? Fine. I mean, we can't do anything.
No. Obviously, we can't do anything, but we all know he shouldn't.
Yeah, he shouldn't, right? But if he wants to do the business side of it, maybe he's better at promoting the business, being a promoter. Being a promoter and being a booker are two separate roles, by the way.
I also don't think he's good at being a promoter. He's great at numbers, so he should take a back seat and be the numbers guy. Crunch the numbers.
You know what he should be?
What?
Just be the money guy lah. Just provide the money. Let everyone run the business, correct?
No, but you see, and it's clearer than ever. AEW is a billionaire's pet project. Plaything right now. It's clear to see because he's not relinquishing. I don't want to let you take control of my toy. This is his $1 billion toy.
Okay, the last comparison I'm going to make, right? Since we're talking about football owners, right?
No.
You know, right, the story of Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds buying a football club in Wrexham.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
That one I know, yeah.
So Wrexham, when they bought the club, right, they were in the non-football league division. It's the bottom tier. It's the 5th or 4th.
Oh, right. So every season when they get to the top 3, they promote lah. Then top 3 promote. Something like that lah.
Correct. So when they bought them, right, they were in the conference league lah, right? So Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, non-league. They were in non-league. Okay. So just to give context, bro, in the last 2 years, they have subsequently promoted themselves twice.
Oh wow! So they're in Championship lah, or League 2? Or
They
League
are
One?
in League One now. So they are
Okay.
from non-league 2002, 2003 season. They got promoted to League Two, and this past season they became the champions of League Two.
Yep.
And they just got promoted to League One. So that means starting next year they'll be League One.
Mm.
So where I draw this comparison to Tony Khan is like Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney came in, they were fans, right? They wanted to own a football club. They wanted to be owners, which is what Tony Khan wants to be, an owner. The moment they became an owner and they bought the stake of the club, first thing they did, they hire a CEO to run the business, a football guy to run the business, right? They hired a football coach to run the team.
Yep.
Tony Khan is trying to be the football coach, coaching Fulham, trying to be the CEO, buying the players. That's what he's doing. He's been doing it with Fulham, and he's doing it with AEW. He wants to sign all his wrestlers. He wants to tell them how to do their matches, book them in storylines. But he's essentially Ryan Reynolds. He's just there to provide them. He's not even a school kid, right? Let's not talk about that.
No, whoa, that was a horrible comparison. But no, I get what you're saying. But Ryan Reynolds is smart enough. Ryan
Reynolds is one thing, right? He's a great marketing guy.
Yes. So he's out there doing the market. He's not telling the players how to play. He's not.
Yes.
No, and which is the problem with Tony Khan. He's trying to do everything. And let's not forget also the fact that he's Tony Khan, that is, doing the same thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham. So who has time? So he's obviously stretched thin beyond belief. He should this all stops at Tony Khan. He needs to be the guy that says, okay, I'm obviously doing too much. I should just be the money guy for all three of these. And just sit back and yes, show up once in a while, smile, shake hands with your employees, but don't try to tell them how to run wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to be if you want to put his face there, make everyone know that this is his company, fine.
Look, but even if he wants to be a Jack Tunney once in a while, fine, I get it, he once in a while, okay, do his awkward ass promos, whatever. But don't just stop with the pencil.
Yeah, every time I cringe, when I see a AEW press release, Tony Khan, head booker, CEO, vice president, talent relation, head of creative, he will list out all his accolades. It's like, these are 8 people's job. Why are you trying to do all 8 people's job?
I don't know lah. At some So anyway, just to put a bow on it, I'm amazed that this podcast hasn't been shut down yet, but we'll have to wait and see. No, if we show the footage, then we'll get pulled down.
Copyrighted, right? Yeah. You know what? I want to end the podcast on a positive note. You know who's my favorite guy from AEW right now? And you'll be shocked.
Oh,
you'll be so shocked.
Prince Nana.
No.
Mina, the Mina chick who kissed whoever.
Sorry, I'm not all you weirdos who love
HLA.
Gravure models. I don't know why But anyway, somebody actually recently, just a few days ago, while game and streaming on his Twitch, gave his comments on Brawl Out and talk about his role in Brawl Out.
Okay.
Do you hear what Kenny Omega said?
Oh no, what?
Okay, so Kenny Omega for the first time broke his silence on Brawl Out while, twitching and streaming, right? And he gave the most level-headed response. And you know what he said? He said that when Brawl Out happened, my job was to take care of Larry, get him out of danger, because I treat animals like humans, I care about them. I didn't want him to get hurt. It's just unfortunate that, people who were throwing hands or, where the situation got violent, didn't know who was involved in the fight and who was not part of the fight and trying to break things up. So when he came in, his intention was to break up the fight. And he honestly said that, after the whole thing went down, he wanted to reach out to CM Punk and squash everything there and then reach out to him. But because of other factors that was not within his control, he wasn't allowed to, right? He said, as far as he's concerned, he has no problem with CM Punk. He has respect for CM Punk, and we are on good terms until now. And the last thing he said was that he hasn't been an EVP for the last 4 years. He hasn't been treated like an EVP the last 4 years. Even though his name says he's an EVP, he doesn't have the power, he doesn't have the stroke. He has, tried to give and contribute his ideas, whether his ideas are being taken or, or approved or being executed. That's not within his control. And he said if it was up to him, he would have handled the situation differently than his fellow colleagues.
Oh, I mean, I've said this before. I feel like Kenny is just unfortunately lumped together with his friends.
Guilty by association.
Guilty by association. His friends who aren't the best, EVPs or best leaders. And they are the ones whispering in Tony Khan's ear. So this trio, right, of the Young Bucks and Tony Khan. Not, you take Kenny Omega away, right? This trio is what's killing AEW. Honestly.
Yeah. If you hear CM Punk's interviews, has he ever single out Kenny Omega and talk shit about him?
No, he's never. Because I'm sure that, it's like you said, guilty by association.
Yeah. I mean, other than Ace still biting him in the forearm, that is maybe what exactly happened. The only thing he's guilty of, I would say, is when they return. Remember, he played to the crowd during the match, and he pretended to bite his arm or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe that is him leading into the tendencies of his friends.
Yeah. When you surround yourself with a certain type of people, you tend to become that kind of person,
Exactly. That's why I encourage everyone to have a loner phase in their life at least once,
So you can be yourself, you can find yourself.
Correct. Don't just hang out with your friends, rely on your friends for everything, because when the time comes when you're alone, or you have to be the leader of your family, or you have to manage your own life, your friends are not going to be there, man. I mean, they will be there to support you, but they're not going to be there to walk you through how to get out of your shit.
Bro, wrestling teaches us life lessons, man. This is crazy. It's the beauty of... I love pro wrestling, to quote Michael Cole.
Yeah. Do you know Tom Hinchcliffe? He's a comedian.
You mean Tony Hinchcliffe?
Tony Hinchcliffe, yeah. That one, he was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah. So, just to wrap up, right? He said something on the Undertaker's podcast. He was the first guest on Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast. And he said, wrestling was such a big deal for him because he didn't have a father. Like, his father, I think, walked out or died or something, I can't remember. And then he said, I look to wrestlers as my father figures.
Wow.
He said it to Undertaker directly to his face. I look up to you, to Ric Flair.
Did he call Undertaker daddy? I expect him to do something like that. He's a comedian after all.
Nah, Daddy! They didn't have that kind of dynamic. That would be interesting for sure. But he said, in the household where there wasn't any masculinity in the household, he learned how to be a man from Ric Flair. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not a good example.
That's a terrible example, bro.
But he said he literally listed, Ric Flair, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker. Those are the 4 people that he learned about how to be a man from. So going back to the values, how wrestling teaches you about life, right? You can learn a lot of things on how to be a man, what to do in life, and also what not to do.
Yeah.
And how not to conduct yourself.
I think Tony Khan, unfortunately, at this point, he has found himself in a world that leaves him very exposed. I don't know if he faced this in Fulham, because football fans are very passionate about their football as well. I'm sure they're going to dig up everything about him. But for whatever because wrestling is what we are focused in on, right? It's like a lot of things are being laid out there for the whole world that he's probably been sheltered his whole life. And now...
he's not ready to face this.
Yeah. The way he's reacting is one of but you guys are supposed to love me.
Yes. Why don't you love me?
And he's trying to do everything he can to try to swing favor to his side. But he's realizing that it's not working anymore. Oh, let me give you a positive. FTR tried their darndest best. After the video, Young Bucks did a bullshit. Am I the only one who thought that the Young Bucks promo before the video was horrendous?
No, they are worse than Mercedes Moné in giving promos, bro.
Dude, yeah. Just stick to being in-ring, spot fest guys, okay? So they do that. And maybe they were, to their credit, they were probably painted into a very tight corner also if Tony Khan really told them, say, hey, I want you to air this, and they didn't want to do it, right? Because they tried to link it didn't work. And then FTR sort of riffed off of that, and they're like, why did you show this? This is 8 months ago, let it go, blah, blah, blah. They cut a really strong promo promoting their match at Dynasty, which should have been the point. Because the video did not promote the match. The Young Bucks didn't promote the match. At least FTR tried to promote the match. But I dare say, by the time the footage aired, already people tune out. It was way too long, too boring. Nothing happened.
We know who are the professionals in AEW. We know who are the so-called the good guys, the one that's trying to make things work, right?
And they never get remember when they were getting massive pops?
Yeah.
What happened? Nothing. It's not to say that I don't want to watch them fight again, but I kind of don't want to watch them fight again.
Yeah, it's the fourth time, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Even though it's that's the thing. Even though it's only the fourth time, it feels like New Day versus the Usos. It's like, okay, I've seen this like way too many times already. I'm done.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a great match, I'm sure, but I'm done.
They are highlighting the wrong people.
Yeah.
They are not pushing the right stars. The stars who actually have the talent, who can actually, be the main event.
Who have gotten over. That's the thing. You're talking about they have the talent, but that's an objective metric, right? You just because you think or I think somebody has talent doesn't mean they actually have the talent or somebody else might think. But you're talking about the guys and the girls who are getting the biggest pops. Who are, getting people talking about them on social media. The problem
organically.
Yes. Yeah. The problem is, and CM Punk said it best, this is not their business. Their business is I just want to put up dream matches, 5-star matches. They are working for Dave Meltzer. That's all they're doing. And they're going to find out very soon when they don't or they barely get their TV rights renewal where this is going to lead them.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer, it shouldn't be the barometer
for
what makes a wrestling company great. Because if he did, he would have played a more prominent position in the wrestling industry, not just a journalist, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, right? And like AEW needs to look at themselves. We are barely selling out these arenas. Yeah. We need to change. We need to do something. It's not working. And unfortunately, Tony Khan has something to prove. And he's going to go down this route to his own detriment and to the detriment of everybody who's working there. Look, having a competitor is always a good thing. But right now, they are so far off. Like TNA looks more interesting than them.
Well, that's the thing, right? But I do not want or I do not wish for the downfall of AEW. To be really, really honest, because the reason why WWE just had one of the biggest main events and had Cody Rhodes as their main eventer was because Cody Rhodes' story traversed through TNA, AEW.
Yes. Yeah, no, exactly. And CM Punk, honestly, he had to go away. He showed up and he finally came back to the WWE. So, no, I agree with you 100%. People accuse me of tribalism. But here's the thing. Tell me when I'm telling lies. No. No, ultimately, I also don't want AEW to go out of business. Just like I don't want TNA to go out of business, right? Why I'm getting all worked up and we are talking about this is because we can see that this guy is leading the company out of business. And that's not what we want.
Yeah. We want them to be a great alternative. We want people to be invested in AEW storylines.
Yeah.
We want them to care about their champions. Yeah.
And if anything, yes, if they are, let's say, even 50% of a competitor to WWE, this will push WWE to give us even better things. Be more creative with their storytelling.
Yes, exactly.
WWF and WCW, the Monday Night Wars was a boomtown in wrestling. The Monday Night Wars, right?
Even if you take it a decade back, WWF and NWA.
Yeah.
NWA had a very loyal audience, and a lot of people argue that NWA had the better wrestling in the 80s, because of the Four Horsemen, because of, Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, Sting, like there's a place for that.
Yeah. It makes the product better. Now, WWE is fighting themselves, honestly. And I can't remember who said it, but they're literally fighting themselves. They are not fighting against AEW. It's a different conversation altogether.
Yeah. And somebody said, if they just lose a bit more followers or viewers, right, it's going to be NXT that is going to beat them in the rating.
Okay. So the final joke, right? Yeah. It's like the top draws of AEW right now are Sheldon Cooper and CM Punk. Because if you look at the ratings, right, their highest was the start of the show. Was it the start of the Young Bucks? The footage.
It was the start of the
start,
show. It was Big Bang Theory's lead into
So,
AEW.
Some people don't know what the joke, the link is with Big Bang Theory and Sheldon Cooper. In the US, they show the Big Bang Theory right before reruns. Some not new episodes they show over already. Reruns of the Big Bang Theory right before Dynamite.
Yes.
And what happened? This is viewer habit, right? A lot of people will stick around after the show to see what's next. That's why the first rating in Dynamite, technically the first rating and the last rating of the Dynamite, you should disregard generally because you're getting spill over. People who maybe Big Bang Theory finished already. I go kitchen, make some Milo, whatever. Come back, see what's happening. Then they see what's going on. Fuck this lah. And then they
yes, exactly.
Because you notice their big drop is always after that or when there's a women's match. But that's a different story altogether lah. So, Sheldon Cooper of the Big Bang, everyone say Sheldon Cooper. What about Leonard Hofstadter, Rajesh Kuthrapali, and oh shit, what's the other guy's name?
Howard
Wolowitz.
Yes.
What about Penny?
I'm glad you're giving more love to the supporting cast.
I know. I love this. I used to love watching Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Big Bang. I love it as well.
I would watch a rerun. So logically, it makes sense, right? The show finished, you watch a little bit more of what's happening, and you realize, this is AEW stuff, and
you see,
drop off or not.
The difference between Big Bang Theory is Big Bang is comfort food, bro. You know you'll get laughs. You know you'll get a chuckle. You will be interested. AEW is heart attack inducing,
It's like once in a while you might get something interesting, but half the time is like, what is this embarrassing shit, right?
Oh man.
So Sheldon Cooper, Big Bang Theory is their biggest draw, and then the next highest peak was CM Punk.
CM Punk appearing on their first peak in 8 months. CM Punk appearing on the show.
This is embarrassing on every single level. No matter how you want to look at it, as a mark, as a casual, you look at the numbers, it did absolutely nothing. It was not worth it.
Yeah.
They just had pie on their face.
I'm very sad because why can't Samoa Joe pop a rating? He should be able to pop a rating. Why can't Adam Copeland pop a rating? Why can't Mercedes Moné pop a rating?
It's not about them. And AEW has proven that even if you have stars, you book them poorly, people are not going to give a poop about them.
It's about how they are being presented.
Yes, and WWE knows how to do that. Like so well. Versus AEW, you're like, I see these guys every week. What's the big deal? Adam Copeland versus...
Adam Copeland has become what or not?
What?
He has become Rey Mysterio on WWE.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you see, he's a legend, you acknowledge that, but he's just there.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a very good comparison. Right now, there's no mystique, there's no cool factor. There's nothing new about Ray, even though we all respect him, we all love his work, but that's exact same thing with Edge / Adam Copeland. So, but hey, he's just there to make his money, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah. Let's talk about, so let's put a bow on it. We all agree. Does this make you want to watch next week's Dynamite? I think you said no just now already, right?
No, but I am going to be interested in watching Dynasty. So.
It's okay. Your bro is going to watch Dynamite. The go-home episode of Dynamite, I will be there to get a feel for it and see if they bounce back from this screw-up.
Clearly, this is something that you're doing out of your own accord. Nobody told you to do it. It's just you interested in AEW Dynamite, right?
I am, yes. I'm a man of my word, if anything, right? I said on last week's podcast that if they showed the actual footage, I would watch a month of Dynamite. So I'm going to freaking watch a month of Dynamite. And also, it gives me a much fresher take on the product that I've been quote-unquote swanning for the past couple of months. I've always said this, right? Like, you should, even for example, Madam Web, universally hated. Tonight, I'm going to watch Madam Web.
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, I finally want to understand why people hate it. I keep talking about it.
Is it on streaming or like, how are you going to watch? How are you going to watch
it? It's on streaming in certain places.
Streaming. I see.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, I'm finally going to watch it so that I can see if the hate is justified.
Got you.
And see, maybe they are trying certain things that, anyway, we'll see. Let's talk about Dynasty because there's still the go home episode and then there's Dynasty itself, right?
Yeah.
And once again, for all intents and purposes, when you look at the card, it's another indie show card lah. A lot of dream matches with no build. They are great matches if you are just going to the community center to watch a night of wrestling and have no context whatsoever.
We talk about how AEW is an easier watch if you just watch the pay-per-views, right?
Yep.
Yep. So like look at the card right now. I have it right here with me. We can run through and kind of see what is our hype level for each match.
Okay, so I don't know which is gonna start first, but we'll just get to it. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. So this one, unfortunately, it's gonna be a banger, but they are gonna do every effed up move in the sun. They're gonna go all out and do all sorts of crazy shit to each other, which is it's them.
For all intents and purposes, right? Like I do still like Bryan Danielson's style of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He does do more technical stuff. He does slow things down a bit more. So I am actually curious to see whether will they go full on flippy shit or will Ospreay slow down for Bryan Danielson?
Bryan is the guy. He will do what he's very nice. He's too nice. He will go along with it. Okay, there are certain things that he cannot do versus Will Ospreay, but by and large, I think this will be he will do his, technical wrestling stuff. Then Will Ospreay will do his outrageous, ridiculous stuff, and then Will Ospreay will probably hit the worst finisher ever on Bryan Danielson. You cannot sell me on Will Ospreay's
Hidden Blade.
Is it called the Hidden Blade? I thought that was lethal.
No, Hidden Blade. The swinging elbow from the back, right?
Yeah. That one is called Hidden Blade.
Hidden Blade, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the worst finisher ever.
Yeah.
It looks like shit.
If legitimately somebody elbows you in the back of your head, it's supposed to hurt and look damn, crazy, right?
But I've said this a million times. Doing strikes rarely work as a finisher. Rarely work in pro wrestling because it's very hard to fake. You're obviously not trying to actually elbow somebody in the back of the head. That's why whenever he does it, he looks like he goes way over the guy's head. It never looks good.
He follows through on the head. Yeah, I agree. Well, they're trying to push Will Ospreay as a babyface.
By beating a beloved babyface.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm trying to make, right? So Bryan Danielson is technically turned heel for a moment, and then suddenly they never explain why he's a good guy now. So we're gonna watch it just because, like you said, it's a dream match, and there are wrestlers that we like.
Yeah,
not because there's any story behind it.
Yeah, that's it. It's like okay, in the context of WrestleMania, this would be a mid-card match at WrestleMania.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, right? It's not going to be a headliner because there's no emotions involved.
Yeah. It's going to be LA Knight and AJ Styles, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it, right?
On site.
Just with a lot more, crazy moves. That's it.
Who do you have to win this match?
It has to be Will Ospreay, what? He's the new guy, $1 million signing. Why would you put Bryan Danielson over? He's the guy leaving.
Okay. Will Ospreay then.
Yeah. Okay. Young Bucks versus FTR. I have zero interest in this match. I'll be honest with you. I know it's going to be it's a ladder match.
Since when?
I don't know. I'm looking at the card here. It says tournament final ladder match, so I guess it's a ladder match.
Okay.
Look, I wish I could care about who wins this. I think that FTR are going to win this just because they want to look like they are not playing favorites. I feel like FTR are going to win this.
From a booking perspective, I think it makes more sense that the Young Bucks win this.
To what? Continue their heel we are EVP run?
They have to continue being the insufferable top tag team heels that is being assholic EVPs. Yes, I think they're going to do that.
Oh God. But here's the thing, right? They have no heat. They literally have no heat.
This is gonna be their way of getting heat. Go away heat.
They have nothing but go away heat and them winning the tag titles. Okay, fine. I mean, whatever. My interest level in this match is very low, to be real honest. Because CM Punk, and I would love. I think is what's gonna happen. The crowd will be chanting CM Punk during this match.
Yeah. A few years ago, this was legitimately a dream match that AEW could have made happen. Unfortunately, it happened during the pandemic. They had a chance to build it up again. They didn't. And then their all-in match was just anyhow put together last minute. So they have botched this dream match, in my opinion.
No, exactly, 100%. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. House rules match for the AEW TBS Championship. I have nothing to say because I don't care. People are trying to say that Julia Hart is people who are excited about Julia Hart matches are just thirsty to see Julia Hart. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to be as real as possible. Nothing about her matches scream exciting to me.
Well, I am not thirsty for Julia Hart. The only blonde I've ever been into was Tori Wilson, and she was not known for 5-star matches as well.
Okay, sure.
But Julia Hart has one thing that a lot of AEW wrestlers do not have, and I gotta acknowledge that. She has some mystique and some sort of character thanks to her House of Black, association.
So she's a presentation character.
Yes. So she's one of the only presentations in AEW, if you think about it.
If you compare her with Alexa Bliss, I guess that's a good comparison because Alexa Bliss isn't the greatest worker either.
Yeah.
She's incredible presentation.
Yeah. She's incredible to look at.
Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale, again, not very excited for this. Maybe Mercedes Moné might get involved because of the Willow connection. And so is Mercedes going to turn heel? I don't know.
They better turn her heel because she is freaking boring as a babyface, right?
3 weeks, bro. 4 weeks, and she's
and Willow Nightingale is actually a very natural babyface.
Yes.
If you pay attention to her matches, she actually has one of the better, babyface great workers in terms of female. Like she's one of the only female that I would say can do a great match.
Yeah.
So I do not know whether it's time for Julia Hart to drop the title, but clearly they're pointing towards Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale, so it's going to be that.
Right. I don't know if you saw the promo as well. I forgot to talk about this during the Dynamite thing because there was this whole thing where Willow and Edge, Adam Copeland, they set up a match for Dynamite. It's a mixed tag match, right? And I forgot who it's.
Brody King?
Yeah, Brody King and Julia Hart, is it?
Yeah,
but that whole setup was so community theater. Oh my God. It was, okay, you know what it was? It felt to me like Willow was taking too long to get to the point. So Edge just jumped in and got to the point.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? It felt like that. It felt like Willow was, you challenged me to a match, but since we're here together, it was that awkward, get to the point. And Adam Copeland, it sounded like he was halfway just blanked out and he wasn't listening anymore. And he was like, you know what? Let's do a mixed tag. He just got to the point. It felt like that to me. So I'm like, yikes, that looked bad. Because not only did he not let Willow finish her thought, it's like you knew she was going there already, but he just jumped in and like, let's freaking do it.
Let's just don't waste time. Just go get to the point.
Yeah, right? So it was bad on all points. It was so cringe. I forgot about it.
Yeah, you need people to guide the youngsters. And clearly maybe Adam Copeland just a few years ago was working with Roman Reigns and Bryan Danielson main event WrestleMania, and now he's working with Willow Nightingale. So cut him some slack. He probably like, what the hell am I doing?
Okay, so at Dynasty, it's Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. Oh my God, he tried to come up with a name for the group also. Some chicken, don't know what. Did you see this?
No,
he literally tried to come up with a name for the group, and it was so bad.
Chicken McNuggets?
I don't know what it was. I need to Google this because it was so bad. But okay, talk to me about Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe versus House of Black, and how excited you are. I need to Google this.
Okay, I mean, to be honest, Adam Copeland and Malachi Black should have been a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
If that was the match for the TNT Championship and that was on the pay-per-view, that would have been a great. I mean, it wouldn't have been the best draw, but it would have been a draw. People would be curious to see that one-on-one match. They should have spent the time from the time Adam Copeland won the TNT Championship to build a one-on-one feud with Malachi Black, because Malachi Black teased appearing after one of his co-open matches and, lay down that challenge. So why didn't they make that the match? Even if they want to have House of Black, be by ringside, threaten to get involved, and then they can have Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston be in the corner. The 6-man tag just makes it feel like an episode of Dynamite main event.
It does. It really, really does. That promo did not get me excited for this match. I need to. Somebody in chat will know, and please remind us on Discord. But maybe later I'll go and find. I can't find it, but I'll go and find the promo again. I'm sure it's on their YouTube. He comes out with really the worst name I've ever heard in my life for that group. And
do you find it?
No, I did not find it, and it made everybody look bad. And you can tell he thought of it on the fly.
Yeah, some people. This is the suffering succotash promo, bro. Oh dear God.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Timeless Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa, AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May is going to be in this match, so maybe the draw is that there might be a potential for HLA. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like this match, nothing about Thunder Rosa is being highlighted or featured. I never hear any package about her coming back from her injury, working her way back up to the main event. It's all Tony Storm making out with Mariah May.
Yep. And then now you got this other girl from Japan.
The Mina girl, right? Like, respectfully, if Mariah May, Mina, and Tony Storm want to do something on OF or, that one, sure, that would be a draw. But in this context, like, no. Nothing.
Okay, like I remember when Tony Storm first came out with the whole timeless gimmick, everyone's like gushing about it.
Yeah.
Is it still as popular? Because I saw it and it was like, oh, okay lah, like that lah, black and white only.
Yeah, I mean, I like the production that they use. They always employ her being black and white and the half. I think that was cool. But yeah, it's not as hot as it once was because I think they became too idiosyncratic. Is that even a word?
Is Mariah May supposed to be some sort of Tony Storm mega fan cosplay? Like she literally dresses like Tony Storm.
Yeah, and she's even coming out to her old music. So, they're playing the whole Trish Stratus, Mickey James angle, but not as.
When's the turn? Because, like I said, all I took away from this past Dynamite was Mariah May and this Japanese girl making out.
So they're trying to tease some sort of like jealousy angle where, because all this while Mariah May is trying to catch Tony Storm's attention, but Tony Storm never layan, right?
Yeah.
And then now this Mina, this girl from her past in Stardom, make out with her, blah, blah. So now Tony Storm also want to win back her fans. So they're having this side feud. But whatever it is, it's not Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm that is the highlight. That's the problem.
Yeah, so therefore nobody gives a crap about the match because Thunder Rosa has no bearing on the match whatsoever. Okay, well, there's that. Let's move on. Kazuchika Okada versus Park for the Continental Championship. Wait, so, okay, I'm very confused. Please educate me. Continental Championship was supposed to be an amalgamation of 3 championships, right? Didn't Eddie Kingston lose one of these championships recently? One of the New Japan ones, IWGP?
Well, you're kind of half and half. So apparently, and this is convoluted, so don't blame me for trying to explain it.
Oh, God.
The whole Continental Classic was a tournament and the winner will be awarded the Continental Championship.
So it's a made-up championship lah. It is not a combination of those 3 titles. Those 3 titles still exist
separately.
So basically this is a bullshit belt lah.
This is another belt. And so when they became Eddie Kingston became a Triple Crown winner was because he already had the New Japan Strong Championship and he already had the Ring of Honor Championship, right?
Yes.
So then when he won the tournament, he was awarded this new belt.
Yeah, but it is not a combination of those 3 belts. It's just you have a new belt.
Yes. And then they're trying to explain it, saying that next year's Continental Classic or this year's Continental Classic, Eddie Kingston will be, even though he's a champion, he's already the Continental Champion, he will still have to enter the tournament. And for him to...
But he's not the champion, right? Okada is the champion. He lost the Continental Championship title to Okada.
I'm not saying that he's the champion. I'm saying that whoever is the Continental Champion will have to enter the tournament. He's like a guaranteed spot in the tournament in the future.
So Okada is going to be in the tournament.
Correct.
So is Eddie, being the winner of the actual tournament, going to be in the tournament as well?
Well, they only said only the existing Continental Champion will be there. Yeah.
This thing is already way too convoluted. The fact that nobody's going to understand it, it just makes zero sense. He just wanted to create a new freaking title. You got Continental, you got International, you got World, you got AEW, TBS, you got TNT, you got Tag Team, you got RO. That's the other thing. I saw a promo by the ROH Trios, the Bang Bang Gang, Gang Bang Bang, whatever the hell.
Okay.
Right? The Gang Bang Gang.
Bang Gang.
The Gang Bang Gang. Okay, so the Gang Bang Gang, like, again, this is the same thing we talked about, like, how many years ago? It's like, there's way too many champions there to a point where none of these championships mean anything.
Bro, this time last year, FTR and the Gin and Juice, Juice Robinson.
Oh, they had a banger, right?
They had great matches on Collision.
The CM Punk show, supposedly.
Yeah.
And It's just a shame. So like, okay, Okada beats Eddie Kingston for this Continental Championship, whatever. I thought the match was shit, right? Okada recently had a match with some young boy, beat the piss out of him, which was what he should have been doing.
He was a nobody lah.
Yeah, but to be honest, Okada just looked like an average guy. Like they keep trying to sell me on him being, and once again, I've watched New Japan before. I remember him being like the guy, the ace, right?
Big deal, yeah.
Physically and visually, he's way past that. Like, I cannot take him as the best wrestler ever when you have all these other people's not just looking good but performing incredible. Like, the only thing Okada does very well is that drop kick right now. That's it.
The crazy thing is, right, even when we talk about Tanahashi, right, for some reason, New Japan could present their stars as a bigger deal in the New Japan environment than in AEW. Because I remember when John Moxley, had a match in New Japan, looked like a big deal. Okada come out, big deal. Will Ospreay come out, big deal. Tanahashi, all big deal. It's the presentation, bro. It's really AEW doesn't know how to present their stars.
We've said this so many times. Same thing. Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, and now Okada as well. $1 million signing, and he's going to fight Pac, which is, fine. Pac is probably going to flip like shit for him to make everything he does look good. Yep. Honestly, Pac looks more of an athlete than Okada at this point.
But we all know what's Pac's problem, right?
Yeah, he's never there. He's never there.
3 weeks and then he disappeared, yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Okada versus Lance Archer next. So just give him guys to beat.
Yeah, build him up lah. That's fine. If you want to raise up the profile of the Continental Championship, sure, I wish they made it more clear why is each championship special, right? If you're gonna make the AEW World Heavyweight Championship the top championship, the TNT Championship maybe like the so-called TV title where they can defend it regularly, that's fine. They can make their international championship something that they can defend in other promotion because it's an international championship. Yeah. That's fine. Continental Championship can be contested by all the international wrestlers or like only defended in Japanese rule. Yeah. I don't know, but make it special because now there's nothing special about each belt other than the names.
And the worst part about it is the most convoluted thing because you won it in a like Eddie, you won it in a tournament, but you can lose it in a regular match. Huh? So it makes no sense. And then as the champion, when the tournament comes around again, you have to be a part of the tournament. Like what the
It's equivalent to you win the Money in the Bank, right? And then you have to defend the Money in the Bank in a regular title match.
Like, it makes zero sense whatsoever. Like, isn't the whole point of this also like Continental Classic supposed to be like a World Cup thing where it got brackets, blah, blah, that kind of thing? Right? Yeah. So you're telling me that, let's say France wins the World Cup. And then 1 year later, England challenges France for the World Cup. Can like that. This is exactly what has happened with the Continental Championship.
Yeah, and then when France lose to England, suddenly England is the world champion?
Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever. So like, once again, who cares? As somebody who's super hyper fixated in fantasy booking, you would think that he would try to make more sense out of these things, but no.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't make sense.
I don't care about this match. I'm sorry to say.
And I love Okada, and it's so sad for us to like sit here and say like, oh, we don't care about Okada's matches.
No, it's all a presentation thing, right? When he beat up the Jobber and then the Young Bucks came out, the crowd was dead.
Exactly. Imagine if he had signed with WWE with all the presentation, with all the form and circumstance. Even him being able to cut Japanese promos with subtitles. Now we see Io Sky doing it. We see Asuka doing it, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that dream match with Shinsuke Nakamura, bro.
Oh. There's the presentation thing, but okay, once again, we go back to they don't want to work that schedule. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just don't come and say, oh yeah, AEW has this talent, that talent, this talent. So what? They're being completely wasted. And they're not being presented. So
they need to make themselves into a star. I tell you, if they can bring in casual fans to watch their show, then AEW has elevated themselves. If not, they're just gonna be like a ROH or just a promotion that wrestling fans know, but they're not gonna be the wrestling promotion.
Yeah. But that is once again, it's not their business. Their business is putting on 5-star matches for a quarter of the crowd. Let's move on to the international. Here we go, another championship, international championship. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. Okay, I haven't been following the previous weeks. And this week's Dynamite, I don't think they had any build up. So maybe they've been building this up on Collision, so I've missed it. Tell me why they're fighting each other. I thought Kyle O'Reilly came back and then they friend.
Well, so if since you said you missed Collision, I just saw the results this morning that
Mm,
apparently Roderick Strong
mm.
with his Undisputed Kingdom has turned on Kyle O'Reilly. So they're gonna tell that story of Kyle O'Reilly say he come back, he's trying to like I don't know whether should I be friends with Roderick Strong or not. Roderick
But he
Strong
backstabbed him.
friend. But backstage he's like, oh, you are nothing without me. Typical lah, the
Yeah.
usual lah.
Okay. I have no doubt that this will be a banger of a match.
Yeah,
But in
Strong and
terms
O'Reilly, yeah.
in terms of me wanting to watch this match, I'm like, I might as well go back and watch NXT.
Yes. If this was 2019,
Yeah.
you would have watched the shit out of this match.
Yeah, no, because there was a story. But this has been done again and again, and then now they're trying to. It'll be a great match once again. If you watch this as a standalone, it's probably going to be a good match.
It must break your heart to see your favorite Undisputed
Era
and Chris Jericho.
Oh, it does. No, see, that's the thing. I don't know why people think that I'm like, oh, I hate on these guys. I absolutely do not. Like, I want to see them succeed, but they are not in a place where they are going to succeed. They're in a place where they will make money, and it's a shame, right? Because we all know what they can do.
Yeah.
But once again, I have to tie it back and always think about if they want to do this where they can make good living, have a shorter, like a lighter work schedule, more power to them.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how long this dream is going to last before Daddy Khan says, stop it.
Yeah. Well, until then, we have this kind of matches lah.
Yeah, I guess. Let's talk about the main event. Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, right? Swerve Strickland is right now at his, I don't know if it's the peak of his popularity, but he's damn over lah.
Yep.
Right now. And Samoa Joe is over, but even though he's a heel, he's like we respect you over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People will still cheer Joe.
If nothing else, they have a decent main event scene. Like we said, they have two stars who are over connected with the crowd. So Strickland has organically become this top guy from his run.
But once again, like you brought up earlier, even though this is their main event or their main event world championship title, if you compare it in the context of all of wrestling, this is an upper mid-card match at best.
This will be the opening match at WrestleMania lah. Like, this will be...
Bro, I wouldn't even go that far, bro. I would put this in the middle of WrestleMania. I would rather watch Seth versus Drew over this.
This is the ECW championship when it was in WWE. Yes. When Kane versus Chavo Guerrero, 10 seconds.
Bobby Lashley versus whoever...
Yeah.
Oh, God. I hate saying that because we all know that Samoa Joe is one of those guys never got the respect he deserved in WWE, right?
Yeah. I love that AEW gave him a world title, make him relevant again, make him a top star again. I mean, I have nothing against that. So Strickland, like I said, if nothing else, I know Hangman Page has his issues, but his feud with Hangman Page elevated him to become a top star.
If I never saw Hangman Page again on my screen, I would not complain. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like Swerve needs to win.
Yeah.
And whether the next person that's going to win, whether it's going to be Will Ospreay or whether it's going to be MJF, whatever it is, I think Swerve, being the way Swerve is, needs to be the guy that, carries the company for the foreseeable future for now.
Agree. But I don't want MJF to be the guy because I don't want MJF to resign. And we've said this before. He's too smart to have resigned at AEW. He must know that this is a sinking ship. He must.
I think
he has too much talent to not know. And he's friends with Cody. He's friends with CM Punk.
Bro, he have given 5 years of his career to AEW. I think he has built enough of a hype. Can you imagine Cody Rhodes as the world champion and then suddenly his surprise opponent is freaking MJF? Holy shit. Royalty-free music, WWE can use that song.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my God, dude. Maybe he shows up in France. I don't know. But yeah, see? We're still talking about WWE even though we are previewing AEW.
This is the most AEW content we've given in a podcast for a while.
Because I actually watched the damn show. And,
finally.
Okay, so my promise extends to Dynamite.
Okay.
Doesn't extend to Dynasty.
Don't worry, bro. I will pick up the slack.
Bro, it's $40. It's $40, bro.
Who say you need to watch it?
We only do things the right way here, so it's $40. Like times are tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to help us and fund our cause, feel free to be part of our Patreon. we love the people in the Patreon. They are the one that's helping to keep these bills going, and probably they are the one that is funding our viewing habits for AEW.
Yeah. Gift me the pay-per-view of Dynamite. Actually, I mean not Dynamite, Dynasty. But okay, so I mean, I'll most likely catch it since I'm involved. I'm in the rabbit hole. I'll give it a watch, and we'll see. We'll review it next week, when we do the podcast. Hopefully,
I'm proud of you. Yeah, I'm very. I
try, like you said, I'm trying to be as objective as possible right now. Watching Dynamite, it is what it is. I feel like there's one more thing I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was.
Was it SPW? SPW.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about SPW real quick, but it has something to do with AEW. And never mind, probably doesn't matter.
All right. Okay. You know what? Let's take a step back. Let's pivot and talk about our last thing for this episode of the podcast. Thank you guys for staying the 2 hours.
And also thank you to our sponsors, Mirage Advisory. We love you guys. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Guys, do us a favor. Go to their Instagram page and drop them a follow. They're wrestling fans. They're supporting what we do. So, hey, help us support them also.
Yeah, follow them on their Instagram. They are our Season 7 sponsors. And if, they get more followers through us, they will stick around until the end of the season and be part of our Kick to the Gut Awards as well. So,
let's go.
Be sure to give them your likes and follows. Yeah.
Talking about the Kick to the Gut Awards. Okay, so Kick to the Gut Awards, obviously, we're looking at all the Singapore wrestlers, what they've been doing throughout the year, and based on, not just our reviews of what they're doing, but also the reviews of the community, So if you want to have your say, hey, go check out our Patreon, right? Links are all in the description.
Yes, and speaking of our, Kick to the Gut Awards, before we quickly talk about SPW, I wanted to give your attention to a post that I put out on our Patreon because, we have done about 2 months worth of shows from Grapple Mag and SPW, and I have compiled and averaged out some of the star ratings. And I want to present to you, bro. This is a bit of a tease for those of you who are not on our Patreon. You want to be involved. I am doing a monthly ranking of the top 5 performers as Singapore wrestlers for each month. Right?
Exciting. Okay, come.
So one of the posts that I put out was the Kick to the Gut top 5 wrestlers in the month of March.
Okay. Are you going to reveal who they are?
Yes, I am going to reveal who they are. So I think in terms of the star ratings which we do every time we go to a show, those are only for the patrons' eyes only. But I think it's fair that, we give you guys a bit of a tease, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
At the very least, you guys can kind of have some context how each wrestler is performing and who is impressing us at this moment, right? Okay. Number 5, in terms of the top 5 monthly rankings for March, we have, drum roll please, Prabhu from Showtime Inc. Grapple Max. Okay, this is what I wrote. In on Patreon. Wait, let me see. What did I write? I had to pull it out. Okay.
You forgot what you wrote, bro.
Yeah, okay. Showtime Inc.'s enforcer Prabhu rounds off the list thanks to his incredible connection with the audience and improving heel work. Right?
All right, nice.
Yeah. So he has gotten 4 stars, 3.5, 3.5. So he is in a upper echelon, right? So that's number 5. Number 4. The first entrant from SPW. The Statement, Andrew Tang.
Yeah.
Yes, the Statement has gotten 4 stars for his performance against Chris Weiss. Oh no, Chris Z. Is it Chris Weiss? Yeah, Chris Weiss, yes. From when SPW had their event last month, this is what I wrote. The Statement's valiant performance against Chris Weiss and shocking Hilton makes him an intriguing addition to the list, right?
Okay.
Just to be clear, we are basing the list on match quality, character, popularity, how popular they are, and prestige. So if you are competing in the main events, most likely you'll end up at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, higher rankings. Okay, here we go. Number 3.
Number 3, we have N-Boss Gregory. So N-Boss, our first 4.5 star ranked wrestler for his performance on the last show. Okay, this is what I wrote about him. N-Boss Gregory has been a steady veteran presence, performing double duty at GrappleMax Amplify the last show and putting on a brilliant performance in the main event, which was the 6-pack challenge, right? Reminding everyone why the OG shouldn't be underestimated.
Nice. Okay, number 2.
Speaking of the main event of Grapple Max Amplify, we have the new number 1 contender for the Grapple Max Openweight Championship.
Okay.
SPD,
my boy.
Yeah, our your favorite guy.
My ratings pushed him up lah.
Yes, your rating has pushed him up. Not just you, bro. People from our Patreon community has been giving him high marks, especially for his performance. Not just from Amplify, Battle at the Barracks, and also Causeway Jam. This is what I wrote.
Before you jump into it, I just very quickly want to mention too, it's going to be interesting to see how he pivots, because a lot of the ratings is based on what he was as a heel.
Yeah.
But now after the latest Amplify, he's on the other side of the coin. So let's see how he, how he takes his character work. I'm very interested to see that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I'm also interested as well, because it's what I wrote. SPD is the surprise entry on the list for outlasting 5 other contenders and earning a future shot at the Grapple-Wax Openweight Championship. But, given his recent ousting from Showtime Inc., it'll be interesting to see how he pivots and becomes a babyface. So, there you go.
Here we go. Number 1, currently leading the pack.
Are you interested in this, bro?
Of course I am.
Okay. Here you go.
Oh, did you want to keep it a secret?
No. I'm gonna reveal it right now. Okay. In terms of match quality, the wrestler with the best match quality from this past month.
I think I know who.
In terms of prestige, who had a championship defense and successfully retained. In terms of popularity, one of the most popular wrestlers in his promotion. In terms of character, his promo might not be there, but he has everything else. What do you think? Who do you think? You say you had someone in your mind.
Yeah, I had someone in my mind. Then when you said promo not there, I'm like, do I have the wrong person?
Okay, give your thoughts first. I want
to my guess would have been Big Dave.
Big Dave just barely made the top 5. Just barely missed the top 5.
Right. Okay, so
you'll be surprised. Rex? It is Eden Rex. Okay, here's what I wrote about Eden Rex. Right, Eden Rex tops the month of March by retaining his SPW Southeast Asian Championship against a frightening challenger in Carlo Cannon.
Yep.
It was a great match. He got actually the highest rating in terms of all of SPW's wrestlers. So he wins based on prestige because of being on the main event. He wins in terms of the match quality, popularity, most over worker in the audience for SPW, which is very interesting because it took a while for people to get behind him as a champion, right? But now he's easily the most over guy. And his character might not be there, but the other 3 metrics pull him way up.
He's one of those guys, right? You really appreciate him when you watch him work.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see him because at the next, not the upcoming one, but the next event, SPW Ignition, he's actually going up against the recently healed Andrew Teng, the Statement, who is one of, he's their, would you say Singapore's top heel at this point?
I mean, it's been a while because he's been like a tweener for a long time, but this is going to be like the draw for SPW going forward, the big rivalry going forward. So, very interesting. We got 2 of the guys in the top 5 and they're going to be wrestling each other in SPW's next big event, right?
My hope is that the Statement brings something out in terms of his character work with respects to Aiden Rex.
Yeah, I agree. And Grapple Max has had more events and more matches. So technically, while the SPW wrestlers are part of this list, they haven't officially qualified for the overall Singapore top 20 because they need to have minimum of 3 matches that has been viewed by either one of us or our Patreon members. So,
but that's fine. It's only April, so
Yeah, that's gonna change because SPW is gonna have a show actually this week, right?
Correct. So interestingly enough, right, and we were considering this as canon, are we? Because it's an interesting what they're doing. They're doing an event at Balmoral Plaza, April 19th, 7:30 p.m. It's called Clash at the Club. So it is pro wrestling in a siam-tiu lah, basically, for lack of a better term.
Yes, I haven't stepped into siam-tiu since my NS days. So
so they are doing a wrestling event at a Thai club.
Yes, essentially that is it, right?
So there's no ring.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a like Grapple Max had their Battle at the Barracks where it was gonna be like a match. So I wonder
the question is, will they have mats?
They're just gonna fight at the club.
Cannot be, right? They're like slamming each other on the dance floor.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Well, you know what? If you are a Patreon member and you are actually interested in catching this, if you can help review, because I don't think I'm gonna be there because I'm a good boy and I'm gonna be visiting for Hari Raya. So, yeah.
Okay,
So
I am sure we'll find somebody to go check this out.
yeah, if somebody can check it out on our behalf and do the ratings for us, then we'll include this or whoever or the whichever or the SPW wrestlers is involved to be part of our SPW ranking, SPW 20. If not, we will consider the SPW Ignition, the next big event, as our part of our rating.
Saleh, where's our intern?
Hey, Saleh, you want to go Thai
Siam
disco
Tube?
or not? For work, for project. It's for
First
work.
time. Is this he young boy? Hey, don't like, corrupt him lah. He young boy.
He big boy, 25 years old already.
Okay, we'll take a look at some of the matches right now, right? So we have The Statement and Alexis Lee versus Jack and Cheese.
Ooh. Okay. So it's going to be a mixed tag plus a all-male tag team.
Yes. So, I mean, Alexis is part of the boys lah,
Yeah.
And when you line up against someone like Cheese, because you have the two horses and you have the two more agile performers, wrestlers there, so it kind of makes sense, right? But if there's no ring, right, is this going to be like,
a bar fight lah.
Yeah, it's essentially going to be a bar fight, right? Is it going to be tornado tag or an actual tag team match? That's my question.
I'm very curious. I think, this could be a reason for people to check out the event to see how they're actually going to pull this off and execute this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Jack facing off against Alexis Lee. Like, that mismatch is hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, we have that match. Then we also have, for the SPW Southeast Asian Championship, Aiden Rex versus Bryson Blade.
Yes. So, this is going to be interesting because Bryson Blade is not known as a main event guy in SPW. So
he recently was quote-unquote suspended for his actions, right?
Yeah, and he was technically part of a tag team with the CK Vin, remember?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he recently hooked up with CK Vin after he turned his back on Kyle, right?
Yes, correct. So I wonder, is there going to be any social media content trying to tell a story of why he's getting a match? And it's for the title, no less.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, to me, it's like, this is Aiden Rex side quest. He's going to go in there, he's going to beat Bryson. Obviously, Bryson's going to have a thing or two to say about that. But, to me, this looks like a side quest.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, come on, Aiden Rex is still the champ. And I think he got a big match with Statement. I don't think he's going to drop the belt.
Also,
in a Samtui, right?
Samtui, no. And what is he going to, fly off of? Is he going to moonsault off the bar?
Probably from the chandelier or the stripper pole. Is there a stripper pole there?
No, there are no strip clubs in Singapore. What are you talking about? This is Singapore, okay? It's just a disco ni.
I see. So he might jump from the disco ball lah, basically. Okay, can. Okay,
bro,
so
we need to send you. You need to go just for your education, bro.
It's Mr. Young, I think you are more experienced. I think I'll just take your word for it, okay?
No. The only
okay.
Siam Tues I've ever been to are in Bangkok itself, but that's a different story altogether. Wow, that one really havoc only.
Okay. Anyway.
Let's talk about Mason versus Dharma versus CK Vin.
Triple threat.
Yes, featuring one of our boys who threatened to burn down the studio.
Yes, one boy threatened to burn down the studio. One boy called us
Bert and Ernie,
and then the other guy can just destroy us any day.
I think we know who you're supporting in this one, bro.
By default. Come on, bro.
Destroy them, please. Destroy them, please.
I want to see him do a double choke slam on both of them through the Samtui table, okay?
What the fuck? Hey, they cannot destroy the club before the club starts, okay?
I do not know. Okay, anyway, yeah. So it's gonna be like a relatively light card. So I think it's more of like a nice collaboration, right?
Yeah. So these are the three matches that have been advertised on SPW's Instagram page. There may be more. I don't know if I'm missing something.
Yep. Again, if you're going to the show, drop us a DM. Whether you're on our Patreon or whether you are from our Discord. See whether we can hook you up if it's possible. If not, let us know how it went, and we will review the show according to your ratings.
Oh, by the way, I'm looking at their promo video right now, right?
Bryson, there is a promo video.
Yeah, Bryson's nickname is the Edgelord.
Wow, what?
Okay, and the Dark Force is this. Who's Dark Force is whose name? Who do you think?
The Mason?
No,
Dharma. Dharma is the Dark Force?
I thought Destroyer is already a nickname. Now got extras, yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now. And
maybe it's like a evolved version of Destroy Dharma, I guess.
Okay, let me see it again just to make sure it's correct. Okay, match 1, triple threat match. Chang. The Dark Force, Destroyer Dharma versus Mason versus Straight Savage CKV.
It's legit lah.
Yeah, he is the Dark Force.
Alright, good for him. Okay.
Okay, yes. So I love that poster. It says, anything goes, no ring, real deal.
Okay.
So they are just going to fight at the club, which will be very interesting to see. Of course, their next event is SPW Ignition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? It says at the Futsing Association building. Is this different from the Fuchao Association building?
Yes, it's no longer the same one. So I'm wondering whether whether it's going to be the same setup, whether it's going to be a bigger, smaller capacity. There's only one way to find out. Which
that's the one where Aiden Rex is going to face off against Statement. But we'll talk about that on a different episode. So there you go. That's Clash at the Club. If you're going to go down, let us know. Slip into our DMs and, we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, for sure. I'm excited because, always fun to go back and watch local wrestling. I know Grapple Max also have another big show at the end of this month in April. So there'll be some local wrestling to catch and review and maybe some guests to appear on our show soon.
Absolutely. In the meantime, though, as always, we say thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Tuesday, even though we're recording this on a Sunday. Any closing thoughts on anything we've discussed today?
Well, even though this is pre-recorded, I'm pretty sure I'll probably be creeping around on the chat, engaging with you guys. Wrestling is fun. Wrestling is back. Regardless whether it's the good or bad, we'll always be here to kind of give you our thoughts, yeah?
Can I very quickly just appreciate the ratchetness of AEW? Because if anything, it has given us so much, quote-unquote, content, right? From everything that's good to everything that's bad. It's a huge, wide gamut, right? It is literally a great time to be a wrestling fan. Because even though what they are doing is shooting themselves in the foot, AEW that is, at least it's something for us to talk about. And to see it play out in real time, once again, I do not wish ill things upon them. Mm-hmm. But to see this going down the road, like, will Tony Khan finally wake up his idea? When you have a friend and you see them spiraling out of control, they are trying to date people who are completely wrong for them, or they're doing stupid shit. And then you keep trying to tell them, but then they don't want to listen. In a way, you feel bad, but also you're like, shit, let's see how far he goes with this. Have you ever had that friend?
Of course, bro. Maybe I might have been that guy also.
It's like, what if idiot don't want to listen to our advice, but you're like, I'm still interested in his bullshit.
No, you know what? It's fine. If you live through the Attitude Era, right? So you've seen everything happen in real time.
Yeah.
We are in the middle of an era right now, so I'm curious to see how everything goes down in real time. And bro, can you imagine Netflix? Tony Khan faces, I don't know, Logan Paul in a match or something. I don't know.
Good. Why? No. I'm waiting for the Dark Side of the Ring AEW episode in about 10 years' time.
You know when it's really down the drain?
When
Tony Khan starts becoming a character on the show. You just wait.
Oh no. Anyway,
you just wait. Okay.
With that lovely thought in mind, we are going to say thank you so much for watching the show. As always, Discord link in the description, Patreon link also in the description. Thank you so very much for our patrons for keeping the lights on. If you would like to support our content, hey, consider being a Patreon. We want to shout out to our sponsors, Mirage Advisory as well. Once again, please drop them a follow. Help them as they've helped us right here on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Wrestling is back. We are back to our regular scheduled programming. See you guys every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Whether it's live or on demand, we'll always be here. Yeah?
In the meantime, it is Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. Have a great week.
Bring it back!